Futures pointing to another higher open coming up this morning for North American equities as we continue on into the month of September. And some initial jobless claims data to pass along right out of the gate here. 340,000 jobs last week versus 345,000 expected on the initial claims. The big number obviously going to come up tomorrow morning, 8:30 tomorrow morning. We'll get the August non-farm payrolls number. That is always a market mover, so be aware of that tomorrow if you're going to be joining us, and please join us. It is interesting looking morning here this morning. We have a number of individual stocks making moves overall, the market positive, but a little bit muted once again, coming off of a muted session yesterday. For the most part, we ended the day, all three U.S. Indexes in positive territory. Individually, this morning, we're watching EV charging station maker ChargePoint, big mover here after earnings were better than expected. On the other hand, Chewy to the downside this morning, missing both top and bottom lines for Chewy. We'll talk about that coming up. And these squeeze stocks continue to move. Support.com, BBIG, Vinco Ventures, and FCUV very active once again here in the pre-market. It's Wednesday, September 2nd. No, it's not. It's Thursday, guys, September 2nd. TraderTV.live starts now. I'm so anxious for the week to not be over that I still want it to be Wednesday. There we go. That's how things look. So far, so good. Positive territory for the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P. About 1/4% there. The NASDAQ leading the way so far. Positivity, though, top to bottom, including Bitcoin, guys. 3.7% for Bitcoin. Back above 50,000 for the first time since a week or so ago. I think it was August 23rd was the last time we tested that 50,000 level. Good morning, guys. It is going to be an interesting one here. As I said, Thursday shaping up nicely. That initial jobless claims number in line with expectations. The big one, though, as we said, coming tomorrow morning for August.
Yeah. I think that should be a good trade there. I know Arun will be looking at the futures early tomorrow, so we're excited about that. And the market just keeps on rocking and rolling. Welcome to yet another day, Thursday, here today, and we're excited because, hey, it's going to be a long weekend. I mean, I like long weekends. This is one of my favorite ones into September. You know, get the markets back rolling here. People back from holidays. Should be exciting. I'm excited. I like this. We talked about the change of weather. I'm excited about that. It was cool again last night. That was a lot of fun. Went on some bike rides with the kids and stuff like that. So that was a good time. And then now today we have ChargePoint. We talked about that. Asana is going to be on the watch today as well. And then look, man, a lot of these major cap tech stocks just keep on rocking and rolling as well. Apple all-time highs, Facebook moving, Microsoft, things like that. So we're excited to be back and here. Only a couple more days for you, Arun. Thank you for everything you've done covering for me last week and then Neil this week. Should be a good one. Only 2 more days left of Arun trading, but you'll be back at some point.
Yeah, I'll be in and out here and there of random days, but yeah, 2 more days for me sitting here. And then you guys get your normal crew back, your dynamic duo of Sean and Neil. For anyone who's missing out for him, don't worry, next week, Tuesday, guys.
Neil's Batman, I'm Robin.
Whichever combo you want to go with. But he'll be back on Tuesday, guys. So anyone who's expecting that, there you go. Anyone who's missing out, there you go. But today, like Sean mentioned, a lot of the names he actually mentioned, I don't know if you were looking off my screen as you were mentioning those names, Asana, ChargePoint, Facebook, I'm in all of them. They're not on they're not on the screen just yet because we do need to send an update, I think. But I am long on 3 of them and short on Chewy. And ignore this.
Wow, you are busy,
yeah,
boy.
Ignore the Siri position because that was us trying to test the system and then me refusing to take a 1-cent hit on Siri, so I'm still holding out, trying to get out. Anyways, we'll go back to Brendan and see what he's got so we can get this started.
A lot. We're dealing with a lot of names. We'll talk about those coming up here this morning. Individual movers all over the place this morning, including, as we said, some of these highly shorted, low float stocks moving around once again, in addition to some earnings. Before we go any further, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, team. Happy trading day to all of you. I wish you a wonderful, successful day. And please make sure you subscribe to our channel and like this video. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's get it started, guys. Want to mention one we haven't talked about for a while, it seems anyways. Nikola popping up here in the pre-market on some positive news. They teamed up with Bosch on a new agreement for fuel cell manufacturing. So Nikola positive right now, but it has come back in a little bit so far, guys. But if you missed that headline again, some positivity maybe here for Nikola. They're slowly kind of, branching out away from these electric vehicles, it would seem.
Nikola.
Yeah, so Nikola, I mean, look, again, some of these names have just been beat up so much that I really think that at some point, you have to start to come in and say, maybe it's time to buy some of this. And then any kind of good news is going to spike the stock just because we've had, again, such a bad sort of trip downside here. I mean, look at the daily chart. We made these bottoms, which is, I mean, there's a lot of bottoms on a lot of stocks right now. But right here, 9 and so, we already touched 9 back in April. We touched it just last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, 9 and change. Now you're back up to 11. It's getting very, very interesting here, and you guys know what I'm going to say. We're sort of now trying to get above this kind of area of support here. I mean, I think we got to get a little bit higher, maybe, or sorry, yeah, I guess of support. We're down this low. Maybe this 13 rate where this 50-period moving averages is a good little spot here for Nikola. But hey, it's starting to get ramped up, 600,000 shares there. Let's see where we can go. But I mean, look, Trevor Milton, we already heard the story about Nikola, and unfortunately everyone's going to remember. I mean, there's lots of, there's lots of symbols that are going to look like this, but we're all going to remember when it turned from a SPAC over into an actual stock, ripped up to $74, $75, and then just ever since then has bled money all the way down. And a lot of traders stuck because we get excited when these big spikes happen. This is that spike off GM, thought that they were going to be working a deal with them. That didn't happen. They pulled the rug on that. And then all of a sudden you just, you get another bump. I don't even know what that bump was, maybe earnings or something. Then all the way back down, back up again, back up and down. So let's wait to see. I still think we need to cross this $13 mark before we get excited about it. Not too much action here on the chart so far this morning, but we'll have to wait to see if anything happens at 11:35 break maybe. But to me, any kind of spike up, like why is Nikola up 5%? They don't really even have a product yet. So do they even have one built and on the road? So we'll wait to see, but I don't mind if it breaks back 11 back to the downside. I'd almost short any of these pops on Nikola.
Yeah, Nikola, I'm looking in the same direction here. Potential shorts, I'm not a fan of chasing after the long, but if I'm going to go for the short, I want to see what happens around 11. I think 11 is the key point here. We were kind of waiting in front of 11 for a bit, and then you had this sharp move at 8 o'clock that took us up right through there. So here we are trading 11:30. If we get back to 11 and we get underneath and we stay underneath, I think at that point you're going to call this a failed breakout. I am going to call this a failed breakout just because we were trying to press against this 11 for a while now, and we finally got that move. If we come back underneath, this is going to be ripe for a short, and if we do get that short, you're going to use 11.50 as a stop and then try to take this thing all the way down to at least 10.50 as your first target, so 1-to-1 risk there, but then you can also look for 10.25, 10.30-ish, so you can try to make more on that on the second half of your position, on your latter half of your position, but I am looking for 11 even potential shorts if we can get underneath.
All right, we've had a pretty impressive run this earnings reporting season for retailers specifically. We saw amazing moves in most of them. That has apparently come to an end, though, with American Eagle this morning. If you missed this one out in the pre-market this morning, down big time here, guys, 11% into levels we haven't seen since way back, spring of 2020. Down here after a disappointing report for American Eagle.
American Eagle.
How did I miss this?
American Eagles, like that move happened, 7:45, 8 o'clock?
That's where you get your jeans, right, Arun?
Yeah.
American Eagle?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But American Eagle, it's just one of those, it's a fad. I don't want to say fad, but it falls in line with the, what was the other one? Hollister and...
Gap?
No, it's another one of the other trendy clothing companies that kind of just go to the wayside after the
Abercrombie and Fitch?
Abercrombie and Fitch, ANF. Yeah, that's the other one. So, is it surprising that American Eagle's sales are a little, lagging? Maybe the trend has changed a little bit and they can't keep up. So, what do you do when the stock has already gone? This earnings report just came out 7:45, so volume hasn't been digested yet. So what I'm potentially looking at doing is marking 78 or 28 even as your resistance level. If we can get it back above 27 and fail, then I think that's your shot. I want to see some buying come in that fails. As soon as I can see that, I know that, you know what, there's not enough to get this thing back above 28, and then I go for the short. But if this gets back above 28, then you kind of have to reassess the situation. But I am looking for some buying that can't be sustained. At that point, you go after the short, and that's what I'm going to do.
I'd actually like to see maybe Brennan can send out through our chat or even Valeria or somebody just to see that report, because yeah, that's nasty. And I mean, considering where retail's been, you know, we've seen Macy's, we've seen Gap, and some of these other companies do quite well. I mean, let's check out GPS quickly here just to make sure that I'm not crazy. But this is like a big move down here for American Eagle, and I mean, you're right back into some levels of support here, but that's bad. Like if they're going to be crashing down this low, yeah, I mean, GPS I guess kind of looks very similar on the daily chart as well. I don't really know what's happened here. We did, come on, let's go. And I just hope that these charts can get fixed. I don't actually even really get an update on any of these problems, so I'm sort of fingers crossed here. This may not be a good sign, and like I said, I sort of got to dig deep into the report because I did miss this one. But normally when a retail misses, I want to short it, and I want to short it for all day. So let's wait to see what happens. That's GPS. So we're talking about, I guess there's nothing happening there. We're talking about American Eagle today. So that's still making moves down to 26 and change. It looks like 11.2%. That's well done to the downside now. I think if we get any pullbacks up here at 27, 28, that could be a short. But for right now, I just want to see, like, did they guide a lot lower? And I have to apologize because Brennan sort of went over that, and I missed it because I was like, oh my God, how did we miss that? So I guess it was probably a guide lower, and they're just tanking to the downside here. No real levels to work off of. We haven't been here in a long, long time. And as you can see, this is a 7-minute range. So let's just wait to see what happens. 26.50. Let's check out the imbalance locator. Maybe that'll give us an idea of what people are thinking here. Charge point, we're going to get to that. I mean, how good has Alibaba been, man? I mean, Papa Wheelie, they're 150 on Monday or whatever, 178 today. ABV, we did that nicely yesterday. That's what brought me back to positive yesterday. But no American Eagle on here, so very, very light into the second day of September. But that's definitely on my radar now. AEO.
Yeah, so it looks like it was a decent number here for the actual increase in Q2 net revenue of 35%. But revenue disappoints in online sales weakened in the quarter, guys, for AEO. So I'll keep reading through that, check out the actual forecast. But yeah, big move, to say the least, for American Eagle. Let's bring in Luis Barbados from Barcelona, Spain, the Day Trade the World office over in Barcelona, to talk a little bit about some crazy action we've seen this week, the past couple of weeks. Luis, it's been all kinds of fun trading these highly shorted, low float stocks once again on increased volume and volatility. How has your week been? First of all, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Brennan. Hello, guys from Trader TV. It's been a very, very, very good week for us here. Last week, I was on holiday, so I missed the AMC movement, the game, crazy, and everything. So, but I was enjoying holidays as sun was, so it was okay. This week has been very, very nice. As you say, a lot of high shorted flow, the stocks. So yeah, we got a lot of movement in the small caps today. We have very, very nice tickers again as well.
Let's talk about this Vinco Ventures first of all. You know, when it comes to this kind of movement and directional type trading, how do you approach the actual bias, or do you go into it with, you know, the idea of, oh, it has to go up because it's so highly shorted? Or what's your approach to a stock like this when, as we said, the float is so small and it is highly shorted, 60% we learned on Monday?
Yeah, first of all, you have to measure how many locates we have, if it's easy to borrow or not, and what the moment, if it's really holding pre-market, if it shows a lot of strength or not. We try to avoid front side shorting in high-low float stock with a short interest. Of course, we avoid it at least in the opening until everything calm down for a while. Maybe in the afternoon, we start to look for some bleeding if it's easy to borrow. You always have to take care and be aware of what's the whole position of the market, what's the feeling you think in the stock. People are getting trapped short, people are jumping in the trades long, and try to measure where is the strong point in the stocks. Where are the people, where are the big positions holding? Are they long, are they short? Where are the cover moments, cover points where you have to be aware of the very volatile movements.
Yeah, it's very easy, to say the least, to get caught on the wrong side of the trade, and if you do, it's going to be, you know, a big move before you're able to get out. I want to mention FCUV as well,
Yes.
new addition to the market this week. How have you been approaching that one?
It's very volatile, of course. Went from $5 to 25 yesterday, crazy. We got a lot of halts in the middle of the movement, so it's been very hard to trade this ticker particularly. It was hard to borrow, so not many locates there for anyone in the market. It's also interesting to check not only in our prop firm in the Trader World, but other brokers. It is easy to locate in other brokers, so in order to understand what the whole position, because if it's easy to borrow for other brokers, you have to be aware that many people are getting trapped short in that one. Was hard to trade yesterday for us because it was not easy to borrow and a lot of halted involved. So we try to avoid very, very risk movements in the halt, opening up or down a lot.
All right, give us your take. Here we go. Let's talk about today. What's coming up today? What's on the docket? How are you going to approach this Thursday morning?
Yeah, today FCUV, as we just commented, it's going down, but it's scalping nicely. So it makes a couple of dollars down, then rebound a little bit. So we're going to have a look at this one. CHPT as well, moving up 17% right now. $25, $26, very important resistance numbers. So we're going to check that one. PSTV, more kind of our style, cheap stock, 22% up with nice level 2, very crowded level 2. So it's kind of safe to go big in this kind of stock. And BABA is I think it's the third 4-day movement up, 179, 180 important levels. I think we can find some good entries around those levels in BABA.
Interesting that you mentioned that one. Typically not the type of stock that Lewis trades. For those maybe just joining us, you know, for the first time in a couple of weeks and might not be familiar with Lewis. Lewis has, you know, 20 plus years of trading, all kinds of experience in the markets, trades, you know, primarily the small cap world or anything that's doing, you know, crazy volume on the day. We've been treated to a lot of those heading into the final weeks of summer here, Lewis. It's a pleasure as always. Best of luck today, and we'll check in again in a couple of weeks.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. Yeah, BABA today, we don't trade usually blue chip, but when it comes to important levels, after a very long movement, maybe for 1 or 2 days, you trade these kind of stocks as well. But then you have to avoid it and go back to small caps. Yeah.
Luis Barbato from the Day Trade the World office in Barcelona, Spain. Have a great day.
Thank you, Brendan.
Sean, you have mentioned from time to time, if people may not realize, you like to trade BABA as well. I did notice that it was up 2.5% here or so in the pre-market, but not a ton of volume for Alibaba.
No, I mean, it's about, the thing about BABA is it's about time it got off that bottom. And I mean, we knew at some point that, you know, the story would be that the Chinese government would hopefully, I mean, and there's some talk today about hopefully, you know, getting some, you know, kind words back and forth and build a stronger relationship with the United States. And I just think that that's a lot what was happening there, where we weren't of trusting. I mean, a lot of these names, there's Baidu, there's JD, now there's Alibaba, a lot of US money, North American money, I guess, and European money, just not really trusting, you know, the political landscape there with Alibaba. So today, I mean, obviously you're getting these bumps. I mean, look at this, I mean, this is a 7-minute chart, like, and I thank Arun for this, because it's nice to look at different days here as you go, but we were just at 158, 159, and then, you know, we bumped up this day, then we bumped up 2 days ago, then we bumped up yesterday, and now today we're leveling up one more time. So Alibaba, I would say off the schneid right now. Ooh, what did I just get into there? Just got into something here. Oh, DD. Okay. Oh, talk about another company here. Here goes DD. So we're long DD now, breaking through 930. That's off the watch list, or sorry, off the sticky note as well. But you know, back to Alibaba. I just want to say, like, why did I get into something there? But there goes DD. That's going to be a big winner for me today, I believe. Anyways, that DIDI in a little bit too early here at 850. But anyways, the point about Alibaba is there's still work to be done. I mean, if you had that ultimate bottom, there's always stocks where you could say, hey, you know, like, we got this, you know, at the bottom, and now it's, you know, but there's still work to be done. This could easily fall back down. I'm excited to see, you know, what their next report has. I'm excited to see what the fall brings for a stock like Alibaba and Baidu. But I just believe a lot of the rhetoric and some of the talk from the CCP there, the Chinese government and whatnot, is a little bit overdone. to be honest with you, these are legitimate companies. Not all of them are. And it's just a matter of getting confidence to put money into these names, because at any given time, look, we saw what happened with the education companies, right? All of a sudden, Arun, they were for profit. Then there was like some talk about a bill being passed, not for profit anymore. So, I mean, if that kind of stuff is going to happen, then yeah, it's going to be hard to invest. But a stock like Alibaba has so many tailwinds, in my opinion. We've talked about Singles Day. They're a well-known name. A lot of us know them here. Wow, there goes. Okay, so DD right now up to 942 right now, taking off. So this was another one here. And this is part of what I'm talking about, where you get that Chinese sort of, I mean, there's news about DD today. The regulators looking to call in a couple ride-hailing companies, talk about sort of the privacy and whatnot. So DD part of that. And I think that whenever we start, reaching out, they're calling like olive branches, things like that. I think that helps the stock. And right now I'm in DD. I don't know if I'll be in Baba Brendan, but I do like that name. And we'll just see if it takes out that 180. But for right now, let's scalp a little bit out of DD here. We're long at 931. We'll take some off here for 10 cents. And then we'll see if this thing can fly even higher.
All right, guys, a few analyst moves for you this morning. Notable names on here once again this morning that we will talk about. Asana with earnings, Costco to the upside as well, Netflix here, Oracle as well. It's worth noting for ChargePoint, there were multiple analysts kind of both directions as far as price targets, up and down. Chewy, same story, both directions there. Piper Sandler to the downside, though. It is lower after earnings. Campbell Soup yesterday. And Zoom with a price target decrease, guys.
I look at that upgrades and downgrades board, and I've got, 3 of the 8 stocks that are up there. So Chewy, I've got to the short side. I'll go through Chewy. Actually, you know what? I'll go through Asana, just because Asana is actually a lot more dangerous given how thin it is. Asana, you see how the bid looks, right? There's like next to nothing done. They've done 85,000 shares in the pre-market, so you got to be very careful on how you trade this in the pre-market. But here I am long at 86. And looking to see how well we can trade off the open. I may use 84 as a stop, but again, given how thin it is right now in the pre-market, it all depends on how we trade. I'm already in. I'm in at 86.07, but it doesn't mean a whole lot when the spread is like 53 cents. So this is one of those things you do have to be patient on. Just be aware, though, that's one of the positions. And Chewy, I'm on the short side with in front of 79. I've got like 67 or 61, 24, no, not that. 78.70 is what I've got with the 80 even stop. And again, we're looking for the open. We want to see the open. We don't want to get out before the open, just because that brings a lot of volatility. That brings volume, which is the big thing. And that'll give you a better indication of how this market wants to trade. We'll get to this in a few minutes when I start talking about the futures, but futures also fairly strong this morning.
Yeah, I know you're in Asana. We talked about Asana as well and how much we like that name. So hopefully that can start to get going here for all of us. And I mean, ASAN, it's on my sticky note. And what a good report. It's also on our watch list. So you ought to make sure that you can hit that up. Did you say you're in that, or you're not in that yet?
Which one?
Asana. Yeah, you are in it. Okay, yeah. So that's the one that I like. I mean, I do. Come on, let's go. If I can just get this loaded. I honestly, I can't deal with this anymore. Maybe Maggie can push the fact that my computer's busted. No, we're just playing around. I'm already on top of that. Okay, so here we go. So we're trying to break out the high here. This is a beautiful, beautiful trade. When you get consolidation like this at the top and then a break higher and then a better report, a better guide, a better everything, you're going to get what you call FOMO on some of these names. I actually saw somebody on, I think the station is CNBC. I don't know. They're not as popular as us. I'm not sure what they are, but I think it was CNBC. I saw somebody talking about Asana yesterday before the report, saying that, if they did break out, this was a nice little stock. It's in the right spot. It's software. So this is a good breakout here. Let's see if we can go higher on Asana. I really, really like that play. Unfortunately on the sticky note here, I wasn't able to find any levels on this name. So I think you did the right thing, Arun, just buying some of these little dips that they go through. And so I'm going to watch out for Asana here, trying to take out more highs. But if we're going to talk about it, I think, what price do you have?
86.07.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, exactly. So that's beautiful. So anything back down to 86 would be great. You may drop back down into the 84 area if people want to sell a little bit of this name. But I like Asana. I think that's a great price, 86. I'd be a buyer on any dips here, guys.
Just be careful, though. It's really thin this morning.
Yeah, no kidding. All-time highs, guys, for Asana this morning as well. So a nice look. Regardless, if you're looking for the watch list, guys, that is the link where you can find it. All you need is an email address absolutely free to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Again, all you have to do is register with an email address. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you need that link one more time. Let's start things off here with some of these crazy stocks that we've been looking at over the past couple of days. And going back to last week, obviously, with AMC and GME. We got that new S3 data at the end of the month for August, suggesting some of the short interests on these stocks are much higher than we initially thought. But support.com, Vinco Ventures, primarily what we're talking about. We had that FCUV, a new addition to the market earlier in the week. 2 million share float. So that's the story with that one. So what do we think here, guys? Support.com, BBIG. What a move that thing had yesterday.
So FCUV, I came in this morning and I saw the move, like the pre-market trading move on FCUV, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe today's the day I pay for shorts. So I pulled up the thing, pulled up our internal system, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put in a request for some shorts. Let's see what the price is. The price was 68 cents, and I'm like, nope. I closed it. I'm like, I'm not going to trade this. And then I started looking at support. I started looking at BBIG. A lot of them have calmed down a little bit. Well, relatively speaking, when they were really, really active to what they are right now, they've calmed down. So the gaps that you're going to get, probably not going to be there. FCUV, we still may have that ability to kind of gap to the upside. So, but any gap to the downside, I mean, if you're not paying for shorts, you probably aren't going to get a chance to short it. So long side gaps and long side gaps only on FCUV. Everything else seems to have settled down a bit. So just be aware that these stocks are like the life cycle of the high activity. Of course, they can go out with the long term, but the high activity on these stocks is probably like a couple days at most, right? Before it kind of quiets down, and then maybe a week later, it'll pick back up again. So just be aware right now, though, it does look like FCUV is probably the most active one out of the bunch, coming back into that 20 support. We have failed this little breakout of yesterday's high above 24.50, 25 and change. So some downward pressure coming in now that we know that there's some resistance up here in that 24 through 25. If we were going to keep on going, we should have been able to maintain some support. It looks like we're coming in. If we take out 16, I would say, I think at that point the bottom's out, and you may start seeing some gaps to the downside. But FCUV seems to be the hot one for this day.
Yeah, let's do a dab up here. Get your water. Let's do Hydration Nation dabs. There we go. What's up to Hydration Nation? You might have heard me also popping the what's up to Costco. Oops, there it is. The Costco multivitamins there as well. So that's why I remembered about the water. You got to stay fresh and so clean as well. So, okay. Yeah, I want to bring up another point about Asana quickly here, because someone mentioned it in the chat and they're 100% right. The volume is weak, man. It's only 80, and this is what Arun mentioned, and that's why I want to bring it up again. The volume's only 87,000 shares. That's a decent amount if you're going to roll this stock, but just be very, very careful, because just like Arun said, right now you have real liquidity, and you know, 86.50, 86.12. So you know, there is about a 30-cent spread. I mean, it's changing by the minute, but then every single one of these numbers on here is just 100 shares, right? So there's 100 shares here at 86.35. So if you're going to pay, you know, play this game, with more than 100 shares, then you know you're gonna have to watch out, because if you have 1,000 shares right now and this thing starts to crack and you want to get out, you're gonna have to take out like a bunch of levels. It's not that there's gonna be unlimited liquidity at some of these prices, right? So be very, very careful right now with this name. So that's just Asana. We'll watch out for that. Look, FCUV I think is gonna be the best one. We traded that yesterday. We had a great trade on this one as well, off some of the halts yesterday. I believe it was a $9 halt that we had initially on this one, and then was it $9 yesterday? Or was that BBIG? No, that was yesterday. Yeah, FCUV was down here. So we did have some plays on FCUV. Now we'll wait to see what happens here today on this name. I think we should get a little bit spicy here. It's on the watch list. I don't mind this 24 area of concern right here, right? So if we can hit that, that might not be something to look out for. We did have a stop and goes yesterday at 24.50, so that might be a little bit of an area if you only want to take 50 cents. But I think taking a 24 break here makes sense to me. We hit, what was it? was BBIG in the afternoon yesterday, I believe we hit. That was a really good trade for us, and it was just a quick scalp. But today on FCUV, I think we'll probably halt at some point, obviously. Again, we'll see if the volume can come back in, but I don't mind a 24 long just to test it. And then off the bottom, we're not going to use VWAP or anything, just looking to see where there's some consolidation. When the games are over on these things, they're over. So that's why I don't want to get too caught up only looking long, but that's going to be a play. And then BBIG, I don't know, it doesn't look like our trades are loading from yesterday. Someone asked me if this was a good swing trade. I said yeah, because we had a decent base down here, and I think that base still remains for us. So right now when we're looking at BBIG, I think a long into 850, 875, something like that could be protected by these bottoms of 8. So, I mean, the bottom's really 825, but I think that's something that could be watched as well. Let's check out a 7-minute chart just real quick on BBIG here, because that's what we're doing. That's 1 minute, that means this is a 7. So here we go. Yesterday, these are the kind of bases that we're really talking about, around $7. But if you get this break here, then I do think that we probably test 750. So let's watch out for 850 or so. So I'm gonna change it. I just said 830. I think this 850 is a spot that we have to sort of be concerned about here with BBIG. But we do want to buy any dips. So if we can get long in 7-ish, then I think that's worth it. So let's put a bid down there. As far as a break on Vinco Ventures to the upside, I wonder if this name is, I don't think it's done yet, but I don't want to be too excited about this. So we'll wait to see. But a long into 7 is good, and an 850 downward break I like for the shorts.
All right, let's get a check of the overall market, Arun, if we can. Just seeing we're kind of taking out some highs from yesterday, late in the day. As we speak on the futures, up 0.3 so far. We're still, 10 handles or so, 5 at least from all-time highs?
Before I get into the features, I want to add one more comment on Asana. For anyone who's wondering why we don't share our share sizes, this is the exact reason why. Because if you knew exactly how many shares I had, I can see people trying to chase me out of my position and screw me over.
I'll just tell everybody.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. So the mystery keeps us safe. So for anyone wondering, given how thin it is, so that's there. Futures. Okay, let's go with the futures. I've actually pulled the chart back a little bit to see what the structure looks like, because at the end of the day, I care more for structure and how the market's operating than exactly what the candles look like, right? So 45.40 seems to be a top end range. We kind of hesitated there twice. This is the 5-minute chart zoomed out, a couple days worth of action. And then we obviously were declaring 45.20 as some support, and we saw that bounce in the pre-market earlier today, or late in the session. Overnight market, call it, because the futures trade almost 24 hours, right? So around 7 p.m. around the Tokyo session into midnight, we were trading around 45.20. We kind of bounced up above 45.26, 28, coming back into the mid range. Keep in mind, once we cross 35, we got to worry about the top end. So the way I was looking at it was that if we were able to kind of confirm all of this support through 25 and 26 and keep strong, then you could potentially take a shot at the long going towards the high. And I'm just gonna go back to what we did, and that's exactly what I did. I am long at 45.30 at the moment, about 5 points in the money, 4.5 points to be exact. But I'm keeping a very close eye on how this market reacts as we come into resistance. We need to clear, and we need to clear it well, 45.40. We're going to start to slow down, I would imagine, at 45.38. And then once we clear 45.40, I think you have a real chance to look at 45.50. But for now, it does look like buy-side momentum, upside strength, running into resistance. So the open can be one of those things where you run right at resistance and we blow through it, take out stops, and we keep going. Or there's going to be an instant rush to get some shorts in and some selling at resistance, and this market's going to fall right off and kind of maintain and respect the range. Keep in mind, though, it's September, it's quiet. We have a big report coming out tomorrow morning. So it's one of those things where if it's going to be done, it's going to be done very quickly, and then the volume was going to taper off fairly quickly as well. So this has got to be one of those things that has to be done very quickly off the open. If we're going to take it, we got to take it soon, and I would imagine within the first 5 to 10 minutes after the open, when the volume actually rushes in, we got to go for the door. Otherwise, this thing will be stuck in the range.
All right, let's go to ChargePoint next, guys. That was awesome. ChargePoint, the EV charging station maker, reporting better than expected results. Q2 revenue up 61%, 56.1 million. They also increased their forecast. I mean, pretty much no negatives in this report.
Nope, and we talked about that yesterday and how it was setting up. And again, thank you for everybody that was watching the afternoon show yesterday and was asking about ChargePoint. I mean, you guys really brought it to my attention, and therefore we started looking at it. And it just made a lot of sense. I thought that there was some catalysts here in the EV space. We've seen it. We talked exactly, I mean, this just set up so much better than AI or Chewy or anything like that. And we talked about why that was. So, I mean, this is really the only play that there was yesterday, in my opinion, anyways. I mean, you could have, this could have failed. I mean, obviously, if it had missed, we would have came back down here. The beauty about ChargePoint was that we had this bottom of 20 that kept getting bought up like month after month down here, and then gets bought up again, and then just again right now, even higher. So we're making higher lows. Not that this chart really, insinuates higher lows or anything like that, but it gets that break. You get the little bit of a build. We had a good day, and then we had a good day yesterday, and then boom, to the upside right now. Now we are approaching this 50 period. I did say yesterday afternoon that if we got into this area right here, 2450, which is exactly where we're at, up 15%, that this would be a good spot to get out. And I'm going to hold to that as well. I think that right here, we're in the middle. I don't know if the report was that great to have this. They beat the revenue by 15%. I mean, that's okay. We've seen companies, I mean, I wrote down here, Chewy beat the revenue by 21%, and you're seeing where that's going. So I don't take that in consideration. It's more the fact that they have, more active ports now, 118,000. We know what's happening. Those are the catalysts that I'm talking about. More ports for charging, more electric cars being bought. We like this. They're not an electric vehicle maker. They support this. So, I mean, it's growing network. They also raised their full year guidance. So you know what? I mean, we like it. I like it for sure. And I just wonder, this is a 1 minute chart that I don't think is fully loading here because we don't have all of the data. Do we? It's 24. Yeah, because that's 2450. Yeah, okay. So it's okay. So we're right into that area. I think, honestly, though, we may want to short around the 25 mark. I want to let this thing open up. I don't want to punch the short to the downside. I want to see how we trade. But to me, 1.6 million shares, not bad. So the volume's been keeping up here today. We get some nice volume spikes. It's holding upside. So to me, this is good. All that I put down on the sticky note was a bid back here in the 23 area. See if we can support that. But remember, even though this is not an EV maker, I can't remember, and we're going to see Nikola today. We'll see how that trades. But I remember when Fisker got a bump, they sold it. When Nikola gets bumps, they sell it. Lucid yesterday went up, but was still down 10%. So I just wonder if 15% might be a good opportunity for a lot of the traders, the bigger traders maybe, to get out of some of the longs that they were building from the bottom. So for me, I'll wait for the swoosh, maybe back down to 23, and we'll watch to see if it breaks 25. But I'm sure glad that a lot of you picked up some options and some shares yesterday in the afternoon. Great play. Congratulations to anybody that did that.
What are we looking at here?
CHPT.
CHPT, the one position I actually still have.
There we go.
CHPT, you would think it's a NASDAQ stock. It is not. It is a New York stock. Actually, a lot of the names, I thought, I have 3 names that are 4-letter symbols. They're all New York. And I'm just like,
yeah,
typically.
You would think Chewy as well, right?
Yeah, typically the 4 letters tends to be NASDAQ. But no, in this case, the CHPT, ASAN, and Chewy are all 3 of them are New York. Okay, we are long on CHPT. The same 2450 level that I was seeing, or Sean was seeing, is the same level I was seeing for the buy, and there goes my charts. CHPT, I'll just put it on this one here.
Okay, good. At least it's happening to your charts as well. Now I don't
right?
feel like it's not personal.
So CHPT, I'm long at 2450, and I'm looking. We see this resistance in front of 2450. We kind of worked above it. We worked some bids into it, and there was enough trading there for you to take a shot to the long side. So I'm taking a shot on the buy side on CHPT with a stop just below this low here, around 2350. There might be a little bit more slippage. Again, this one is going to be like a soft stop, so it depends on how it trades below 2350. So if there's like a decent amount of selling, then I think I'm out. But if there's just underneath, get some stops out, come back in. At that point, I'll let it go. But I am looking at 2450 long with a 2350-ish soft stop, so it could easily go underneath and I still won't get out. But that is the long for now. It's just a matter of trying to play the extension to the upside on CHPT. And if we get to 25, I mean, you're going to see it's a round number, so it tends to have some stops there. Anyone who's playing short is putting their stops at 25. If we can maintain the strength through 25, you let this position go. But if you see 25 go and come right back in through 2480, then it's over. So I think the long play at that point I would walk away from. But for now, I am long on CHPT, sitting what, 10 cents out of the money, Brennan?
Let me take this just quickly, Brendan. I just want to, because someone, before I forget, and it moves on here. Jim W. Trader TV should have a feature for futures on the daily. We do have that. So Arun, thank you. Every time he's available, and it's been pretty much every day since we've been on the show, comes on about this time, a little bit earlier, like when he did the futures recap today. Regardless of Arun sitting here, we put him in the cell, and he's back, you know, at his place, in his trading spot, and he does come every single day with the futures recap. So please join us every single day. And I believe, Brendan, it's around 8:45.
9 a.m., but close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, join us every day, guys, 9 a.m. for Arun's take on the overall market. Chewy, guys, is this overdone? 10% almost here for Chewy. They had less active customers. They had wider than expected loss. Revenue, though, was still up on the quarter, as Sean was saying there, but almost 10% here for Chewy.
Yeah, we'll hit the oh my God.
Oh my God.
Because, yeah, I was not expecting this. I thought Chewy, we did talk about this yesterday. It wasn't really setting up for anything on a daily chart. Like, we'd already made this move up. We were already above the 50-period moving average. So we weren't super excited about it breaking through 95 here or anything like that. I mean, it's just bouncing around. This move down, though, to me, is way overextended. We talked about it, man. I mean, their revenue rose 27%. Sorry, I said 21% the first time. 27%. Their active customers rising up. And again, this is all on my sticky note. Up 21%. They're active customers. That's what we want. We want to be invested. We want to see the companies that we own, you know, growing their customer base. They'll figure out the profit side of this. I mean, that's, I would think anyways. I mean, how long did it take Amazon I mean, a lot of these companies, I don't need to talk about this with you guys, but there's a lot of companies out there right now that have zero profit and have had that for a very long time. So I'm not super excited the fact that it lost $17 million or 4 cents a share. Like, I mean, that to me, as opposed to 2 cents. Look, it's a big number. Obviously, they missed. That's not good. And when you miss, you get punished. But to me, this is way overdone. And just like Arun said there, I like $80 breaks. You talked about 25 on ChargePoint. I'm going to talk about 80 on Chewy. I think it gets back there. But again, it's very difficult to take breakouts and things like that on earnings day because we don't know where the big orders are going to come in. And Chewy, again, another thin stock. It doesn't have too much size on here. It's only done 300,000 shares. So if someone comes in with a sell order, 500,000 shares, something like that, this thing could get crushed back down to 77 again. But that's a very nice base down there. I believe that traders yesterday in the aftermarket, you could see the volume picked up. They definitely were trading this move on the downside. So you do have a base here, 77, 78. I'm putting a bid down there, low 78s. Maybe we can get picked up. But then, hey, if we break below 76 even, I mean, the bottom is 76, 75. But if we take out 76 even, I'm going to get out. It'll be a $2 loser. It'll be what it is. We'll average into it, but that's going to be my bottom, 76, and my top is 80. And I will take a break of 80. And, you know, I'll celebrate it and this and that. We'll be excited if it goes up, but it won't be a huge position because, again, I don't want to be part of these early breaks where you can eventually get crushed back down because we don't know the positions of a lot of big traders. So we'll wait to see what Chewy has. I don't think the number was that bad. I believe this is a name that fits sort of the ARK Invest. It's a new business. It's in a new space. There's more animals being bought. We already talked about this. It's 21% customer acquisition ups. So let's go long on Chewy. That's my position. You mentioned trading it already, Arun.
Yeah.
How did that go? And I know you're not in it, so maybe it didn't go well. I don't know.
No, I am in it.
Oh, you're still in it?
Yeah,
I think you
Chewy.
said the only one you're in was ChargePoint, but you're in Chewy.
No, I'm in like 5 stocks right now.
Got it.
Chewy, I'm short in front of 79. You see me 78, 70 and change. Stop is going to be just above 80 something. Yeah, we're just above 80. We're sitting above 80. And this is just me trying to play consolidation. The risk is worth it, I think, at this point. You're risking a dollar and change to see if we can actually get down to 77, the low. And if we take that out, this thing is going to open up to the downside, of course. Of course, if you get the move to 80, at that point, you've got to mark off 77 as your potential support. And then you got to wonder, well, is this a long, right? Right now, I can put up a dollar, lose it, and be okay with it. And then I got to wonder, is it now worth it for me to go long, risking $3 and change? I would argue yes. For now, we are out of the money, so we're going to wait to see if whether 80 is going to get taken. If 80 does get taken, I think I might just flip this trade and go for the long side. Just be aware, guys, anytime you take a trade, there's always 2 trades available, right? There's one trade in front of the level and potentially one trade that breaks the level. In this case, 80 is the level we're working with. So if we break 80, you may have to flip it. And right now, it is coming back a little bit. So this may be one of those trades I may flip. If we get above 80 and go strong through it, I may flip it. Just an update as well. I also got myself into AEO, American Eagle, on the short side as well at 26.38. Stop on that is still north of 28 and change. So we are getting a downside move through the lows at the moment. These are pretty much pre-market lows we're sitting at the moment. So if we can keep on going, I think 26 might be an interesting place to get some more stops out of the way before we keep on going down. If we snap back up, might be a place to add some more. Up until we break 28, I'm okay on the short side of American Eagle.
Anyone eyeing this FCUV for today? There was a bit of a volume spike there that took it back up to some levels from yesterday. Obviously nothing compared to what happened in the morning yesterday, but for pre-market, that was a lot of volume that just went off there on FCUV, so heads up. Crypto stocks, Bitcoin back above 50,000 for the first time in a week and a bit. That had basically anything related to crypto back to the upside in the pre-market here, including Coinbase, guys. It was up more than 4% at one point. SI, MSTR, to name a few. All the usuals looking pretty positive.
Okay, so yeah, we will talk about that. But that FCUV there, Brendan, this didn't happen. So it looks like it happened on our charts, but yeah, it didn't happen on E. So I'll just bring down an E signal. It must have just been some dark pool prints because I'm looking at that 24 print. So I didn't get executed in or anything like that. So that did not happen. I mean, I actually I don't have the order out, but this didn't happen. I mean, according to E signal, anyways, it might have been some dark prints, but that is something that could easily go through again. So FCUV, watch out, and maybe it did. I don't know. But if you guys saw that, let us know.
The earlier dark prints all seem to be around the same price, so I'm going to argue that is a dark pool.
Yeah, with volume. So it's a dark pool dump here. Somebody dumped something at yesterday's high, 26.50. You can see a couple of these ticks up there, but it does look like it happened. I mean, these are normally what dark pools look like, but it must have just filled itself out up there. So it happened on the minute. So that's what was that all about. Yeah, I think we were talking about crypto right now. Is that what it was? So crypto right here. Thank you, Ms. V. Bitcoin again, the daily chart, we're right back, man. We're cracking 50 again. We've been bouncing around from 45 to 50. We talked about the bouncing around that happened down here between 30 and 35. And I said the minute we break 35, man, we're gone to 40. That's exactly what happened. You retrace back halfway to 37.50, and then you come all the way back up. You do that same retrace back to 45. And honestly, man, the next stop is 55. You're going to get that. Then you're going to retest 60, and then we'll see about this high. So Bitcoin right now has the momentum, and it's just marching to a beat of its own drum right now. Ethereum and Bitcoin, they kind of want to take turns going, so we can wait to see what happens with Ethereum. But this is BTC. We do have some nice support down here at 49.7. So we'll watch that. You could trade stocks like Mara, some of the different miners, and we'll see how that goes. And then, the biggest and the baddest of them all, of course, in my opinion anyways, Cardano, 303. So we finally get that break. A lot of us were buyers down here at $1. We talked about that. Shout out to Shakib. I'm only shouting you out because I know that you were buying down here. I know a lot of you have sent me some real nice messages about this move here. So Cardano, we talked about introducing smart contracts. I talked about them being in the education side of things in Africa as well. So, I mean, that was all news back here, man. I mean, look at this defend of $1. Like, if this was a stock, this would be, we'd be talking about this every day. But because it's ADA, it's not well held. A lot of people weren't certain of this kind of a play. This was 15 cents. Like if you go back down to a year ago today, man, September 2nd, we were at 12 or 13 cents. Arun, today it's at $3. Damn. So it's a big move to the upside there. Congratulations, anybody long ADA. Of course, you're never long enough. I mean, to say that I'm in the money here, obviously we all are. It's at all-time highs. But the point is that definitely another missed opportunity by me and I probably by everybody to not buy some of these cryptos at such a low price. And if you did, congratulations. And if you're not in yet, I think that there's been a euphoric run in the crypto space right now. So I think you're going to get a pullback. I'm not getting anything out because I'm holding these literally to the moon. We may be at the moon now, but we're going beyond that. So if Neil was here, he'd tell me a couple planets that were beyond the moon. But right now, we're going to wait for this to get going even higher when smart contracts come out and people start using them for NFTs. Some of the DeFi space as well. I believe Cardano is the one to get your money in, but nothing wrong with holding Ethereum or BTC either.
Yeah, absolutely not. Sean wants to go to Mars, guys. Past the moon, first planet up is Mars. Going
Let's
on
go.
out. There you go. He wants to go to Mars with Cardano. Me, on the other hand, I can't. I just can't get involved in these stocks, these Riot, Mara. The stock side of things, I just can't. I've had a hard time getting a read on the stocks because if I'm going to trade it, I might as well trade the actual product. And I've said this before too. So trading Bitcoin, I know there's Bitcoin futures. They don't have enough volume though, but that is something that I would consider looking at. But in terms of stocks though, because they have to keep this in line with the actual product, so in this case Bitcoin, there's a lot of, not manipulation, but there's a lot of program work that's done, and I can't just get involved. Obviously sometimes it's easy to just get in and let it go. Me personally though, I kind of read a little too much into things, and this is one of those things where if you aren't catching certain prices, it's a little too late, and then it becomes a lot more difficult. And for me though, Mara would be the one that I would potentially look at to get an idea, but at the same time, I've never had a good experience trading Mara or Riot, so I'm just going to stay away from these stocks.
10 minutes to go here. Let's go to Asana quickly, guys. All-time highs here in the pre-market for ASAN. Really nice report for them right across the board as well. They raised their full-year revenue forecast. They beat on revenue first off, but posted also a smaller than expected per share loss for their latest quarter. So 11% here for ASAN.
Yeah, you're in Asana there, and I do like Asana. I think it's good to go to the upside here. So I just want to show everybody, Cardano's now number 3 on CoinMarketCap, and I mean, I saw someone talk about this in the chat, right? And I mean, this is Cardano right here. This is a B, by the way. This is 97 billion market cap on Cardano. 443 billion market cap, right? Right there. You're going to see Bitcoin crack 1 trillion coming up very, very soon, right? And then you're going to look at here. What about a stock like XOM where, yeah, man, we're short. We crushed this put, by the way. Market cap, XOM. 227 billion, right? Ford, we're just doing this just to show you guys, what kind of nuts things we're talking about here. Market cap. So Cardano's worth double Ford right now. Cardano is worth double Ford. You want to go through another name? I mean, we can go through anything here. Let's even go through my favorite. Let's talk about Palantir. What's Palantir's market cap right now? Double Palantir's market cap of $51 billion. So, I mean, there you go. Like, this is just to show you that if don't get too much FOMO. I mean, this is all that I can say is that, do I think it's going higher? Yes. But when you really think about what this is, some of us can barely even explain what a smart contract is, yet we hold probably $10,000, throwing out a number, doesn't matter, $1,000 of this, right? So I think it's just very, very speculative. I do think it's the future. Everybody should know about cryptocurrencies, and I believe they need to be 5 to 10% of your portfolio. I'm not sure at these valuations, as we're almost near a record high, 2.24 trillion right now in the space. And yeah, it's been such a great run for it. There may be an opportunity to take some money off the table. Thank God I'm not in a situation where we really need to do that. But if this is money that you're relying on, I don't want everyone to pile in right now just because we're talking about it. And it's one of those things where it's going to be a forever risk, and I think it's just worth the risk for small amounts. Like I just said, 5 to 10%, man. Don't put your rent check into crypto right now is my thinking. Asana not really doing too much. I know that we've talked about buying this dip. The main worry for me and Arun was volume, and I think that you got to wait on it. Obviously Arun's not going to be out of this one. He's long right here at 86 and change. We could talk about that, but I just think a dip down into 84 probably does happen. So I do want to put some bids in here, catch along if we can on Asana. Let's just see what the price is going to come out to. Before I throw to you, Arun, I just want to check back quickly because it's a New York stock. Let's just see what is out here on the imbalance locator. ChargePoint, Education, which is Chinese, EDU, sorry, it's Chinese education name. Alibaba's on here as well. AbbVie off that big dip yesterday, then DD's in here. So we're the only position I'm long in is DD, and I like it. So but let's talk a little bit about Asana with 4 minutes to go. Sorry,
yeah,
6 minutes.
Asana, we got what, 6 minutes?
Yep, 6 minutes.
Okay, Asana, I mean, we talked about this, right? It's thin. It's difficult to get into, very difficult to get out. So it's only done 115,000 shares here. We are looking for an expansion of this move. One of the big things I think for me with Asana was the fact that once we kind of got above this 84 and change, that would have been the top end of the, I guess, the report that came in right at 4 o'clock. And then the fact that we can't get back underneath, we kind of went up to 86.5, came back into 85, 84.5, tried a couple times, found some support. These edges, guys, these extreme price points, there's a reason why they're extreme price points, right? Because that's where people either give up or that's where the stops have stopped running. So if there were market orders, that's as far as they had gone before they came back. So the fact that it's actually stalling out around that price kind of gives some, some support to the idea that there are buyers willing to kind of keep this from going below 85, and that's the play I'm making, 86 long, somewhere below 84. Again, because it's thin, I have to kind of get a good idea of how it wants to trade before I get out. But 84, 86 long, 84, somewhere below 84 on the stop. And we are looking for an expansion, right? A lot of these trades are kind of like spinning around. My charge point is coming off. My Facebook has been off since I got in. See if we can't get a move, because futures are going to the highs right now. So see if we can't get a move off of Facebook onto the upside. And looks like Chewy, I might have to spin this trade to the buy side, from the short to the buy side. Remember, 80 long. And now I'm starting to think maybe if I go for the 80 long, 78 could be the stop on the long. And I think I just got into Moderna. Well, I'm still getting into Moderna. I haven't gotten everything I want. And Lucid as well on the long side. So I'm pretty heavy, looks like, to the buy side at the moment.
All right, a few little ones, bottom end of the list once again this morning, guys. I'll talk about BBIG here. There's that TLSA, the not Tesla stock, the pharmaceutical stock. It's Tiziana Life Sciences, TLSA. Positive cancer news. There's PSTV, positive cancer news as well. I want to mention BBIG here because it's really in a bit of a tight range this morning. Two things to look at, 1050. 1050 was that high from about mid-morning yesterday. Above that, this thing's probably gone again, but just be careful. 850 ended up being support midday yesterday. So we're inside the range here of what happened throughout the midday session yesterday for BBIG, but 1050, and then it's off to the moon again. For BBIG, it's worth mentioning, guys, shout out to anyone in New York. The remnants of Ida just having its way with New York City last night. So hope everyone in New York is well this morning, guys.
Yeah, we're kind of lucky around here. I mean, knock on wood, we haven't had too many major issues. We did have a crazy ice storm about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe it was. Anyways, or that was fun. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, everybody stay safe and obviously just heed the news and follow that as you go. But you're talking about Moderna there. Let's just take a quick look on Pfizer. Pfizer dipped down to like 40. Yeah, I was going to say it dipped down to like 46, excuse me, the other day. And yeah, it's kind of bouncing back down. 45, sorry, bouncing back up. $45. There's Pfizer making that little bottom here. I'm wondering if this is a good long-term buy. I think it probably is. I mean, they have a solid dividend. That's never been in question. And then all this vaccine talk. And then plus, not only that, unlike, I mean, Moderna's new technology, right? I mean, Pfizer had to go up with BioNTech to get this done. But Pfizer does have a pipeline as well of other drugs. So, you know, I think Pfizer is definitely something that needs to be bought. But if you are looking for something, for me, I'm always in J&J and trying to buy more and more on dips on that one. So I do like J&J. We don't have the vaccine approval for J&J here in Canada, but that's on a nice dip as well, back down to the 50-period moving average. So I think that this is also another one. And then you mentioned Moderna. I think Moderna is a different name than all these ones because you are playing the strong momentum and the various movements in this stock. You're not going to get a J&J or anybody looking the way that Moderna does, you know, up to 510, then basically back down to 350. So, you know, the way I look at expensive stocks, it's different when you're day trading it, but when you're investing, like if you just take off the zero, then it's like 51 back down to 37, right? So we've seen stocks like NEO do those kind of moves. As long as you believe in the name, you do have some of these outs. And I think 350 is screaming at us. So if we ever get down to 350 on Moderna, that's where we'll be attention on that one. I know Brendan was talking about Nikola earlier on a little bit, a nice move up. And then, you know, this is what we're talking about. I think it gets faded all the time. I still can't can't believe we're up 6%. When it was up 5%, I said that they'll probably hit this. And I guess it went up, what, 7 or 8% there? Or maybe 7% at that high. And now it's coming back in. So I'm going to look to see if Nikola wants to crash back down through this 1120 area or so. Nikola, I want to fade this move as well. So we'll get short into 1160 here.
Yeah, it looks like futures taking off towards the highs. Again, this is going to be what we want to see here. At the open, are we going to be able to get through 40? If we can, you're going to see new highs. If we can't, I'm going to tighten up the stop on this position. I'm going to bring it just underneath that 34, see if we can get a run towards the 38 into the 40s. Again, we're looking for an expansion to the top, right? This could bring us new highs, some pressure to the upside through some index stocks, Facebook hopefully, because I am long on Facebook as well. As this market starts to accelerate, if we can just get going, I just got out of Facebook, actually. The stop went off there. So as we get going, we want to see some volume coming in. And we got about 10 seconds off now.
There you go, time
to the open.
Yeah, we did good there. Thank you guys for the reminder there. I did have it up on my screen, so that was good. Here we go. We get ready to rock and roll. We got DD on board. That's something to the downside. We're going to watch out with some... Yeah, she's got those beats. But yeah, we're going to watch to see what Cardano does here. Sorry, what DD does here off the open with some of these imbalances. So let's go. I only have one position on. We're waiting to see what Chewy does as well. All these stocks need to open, right? So I don't think they've even opened yet. So we're going to wait. Chewy looking at 79.50. We're going to see if it cracks 80, guys.
Yeah, we got Asana coming up to the upside. Futures still going strong at 38. We're still working that. We're still in... we got out of Moderna, actually. That got stopped out. Asana, wow, okay, 88. Off the open, bounced to 88, and then a smack back down. We still are looking for some support around 84. Damn. Again, we need to watch this trade, right? Given how thin it is, it's going to do this. This is expected. Right now, we've got Asana up a little bit. We're down on Chewy. So Chewy, we're going to have to spin this trade around. As it goes through 80 even on Chewy, we got to look at potentially spinning this trade. That's the only trade I've got that could potentially be flipped around right now. I'm getting killed across the board here. There's a lot of stocks that are not doing what I thought. Charge point coming off here. So, hey, guys, a lot of pre-market trading not working in my favor right now, but you know what's making money? Futures. So that's what we're going to focus on, especially at these price points. We know we're running to resistance. You know what? Maybe I should take some off here, depending on how we trade. I'll give it another chance. No, you know what? No, I'm going to get some out here. See if we can't lock in some profit to offset the losses on the rest of the stocks. So first exit on the futures around resistance. Remaining stocks, we're going to let them go. Specifically Chewy. I want to see how Chewy trades around this 80. If we can't spin it around, we're going to hold on. But for now, it is hesitating at 80 on Chewy.
Yeah, exactly. So we have some. We did go long on Chewy here, but we are willing to absorb some of this, like you just mentioned there. Let's wait to see. So we're going opposite positions here on CHWY. So good trade there on the futures for sure, as they're starting to go back to the upside. We've dug in. We've dug in a little bit to NIO here as that comes crashing down. We're going to give it to 38.50. So I'm done right now buying some of these dips. I'm not going to average into this one. We've seen how bad that can go, especially if the futures don't continue to go to the long side. So we will wait to see where that goes from here. But right now, there we go. And now we're in the sauna as well at 83. We talked about this dipping down and trying to buy some. So watch out for the volume. I like the number, but if we take out this 81, man, then we're gonna be gone on this one. Maybe 80 on Asana. But right now, yeah, these longs, we were both talking about being long into today, and we just need to make sure that this works. Our average price on Asana right now, 83.60, guys.
Yeah, if you want to watch somebody get screwed across multiple times, across multiple stocks at the same time.
We don't want that.
This guy right here, almost every position I'm in on the stock side of things has gotten me, pretty much has gotten stopped out. Charge point has flipped around. Chewy hit the stop and then spun around. So, okay. Yeah. Of course, now it's back to where I initially got in. Facebook stopped out. But good thing that most of my risk is in futures, because here we go, futures towards 40, and that's where I'm going to have to focus most of it. Most of my money is going to have to come from this, because we are taking some hits on the stock side of things. There's obviously a lot more time for the day, so I've got some other reads that I want to make. So HD, I think, just hit some stops, so we'll take a look at HD as well to start off. Brendan?
Big mover yesterday, guys. Lucid Motors just popping back up here, 5%, just broke that high from yesterday. What a reversal we saw in that one on the move again, guys, for Lucid.
Okay, so yeah, Lucid's moving here, but I mean, we're stuck long on everything right now, and it's just not going great. Here goes Neo, though. This is going to be a good one, man. We'll go Gronk Spike for this one, because it's starting to go back to the upside. This is a 20-cent winner, and it's funny because we're talking about this when I'm only down 15 cents here on DD. I'm surprised on this one. I really thought that we were going to get going here. This is my bad, but I do want to buy some more DD on this dip, so let's do that. And then Chewy, we're down right now $1, but we are going to average into this at 78 and change. So hopefully it comes comes back down. We're just letting this one cruise right now. Hopefully it can get better for us. Charge point, we talked about these bids as well. We're looking at this level here, 22.50. So right now we got to buy this. We talked about that would probably sell this all the way to the downside right now. So we're getting very, very careful with charge point, but we're mainly worried about Asana. So we got to watch out for this as it's cracking through 80 right now, guys.
Yeah, and as I watch this, I'm like, really? Look at Moderna
Look
now.
at Neo though, wow.
Moderna at 398. I was long 395, got stopped just below 391. It looks like about 30 cents from the low, and now we here are putting in highs. Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. So I'm starting to offset some of these stock losses with futures gains here. I am taking out more in front of 39.40. So second exit is in on futures. Let's lock in some profit. We are at resistance, and the fact that I'm actually losing on the stock side of things helps kind of helps me make the decision. You know what? We're going to lock in some to offset some losses there. So there we are. Second exit on futures is in at resistance. I've tightened up the stop. I'm going to bring the stop in just below 35. If we get below 35 and trade below 35, I think it's time to cut and run on the futures. And potentially, I want to say maybe there's a short available here. I just don't know where the stop is because I refuse to use 40, and I'm not sure 42 and change. The previous high is a good stop to work with. So for now, I am going to keep a close eye on this, just manage the long. But we'll see how that goes. What other position? Oh, yes, Lucid and AEO. Quite the bounce on AEO, actually. We'll keep an eye on AEO and how it's trading when we come back from Brendan. What's up?
Another one that was included, guys, in the squeeze group going back to the beginning of this year. MMAT just popping up here on huge volume, just broke $5 starting to run. It's also had a couple of green days as well to get things started. 10%, guys.
All right, let's just let's get some out here. Boom, there it is, another one right there. So good trade for me here happening on our friend Neo, and we talked about buying the dips, man. It's right on our it's right on our sticky note here today. Buy the dips up to 40. So I mean, this is. I can't do it any better on Neo than this. I mean, 3 times in. Obviously, we would have liked to load up even more down here, but that's going to be a good trade for me. One of the only ones so far. Charge point, we're trying to buy some more dips here. It does hold off this 22 and change part, 22.75. That's going to be, looking at our new out coming through here, but we did think that this could happen. I didn't think it'd go this far, this fast, but charge point coming back in. Let's hold it and see if it can go, but we do have some bottoms here. I'm not super nervous about anything here, but we do have to protect some of these plays. And then right now we did get more Asana off this bottom, and I'm playing off this 79. If we break this 79, man, then we got to flash out. But look at the spread; it's dangerous right now. It's super bad here. It's over 70 cents right now on the spread for Asana. So hopefully this could get going. We get some good feels for this name and back to the upside. But right now, not a great opening for some of these longs, other than NIO, Chewy as well. We didn't even get that bid at 78. So my bid downside 78 even, so needs to get there. Otherwise, we're waiting for that 80 break to happen one more time. What's up, Brendo?
We saw Netflix on the upgrades and downgrades board there, guys. We did get to all-time highs there initially, right off the bat, 595, but it is pulling back here. Still up nicely, though, for Netflix.
Oh, man. Moderna, really? Now we're above 400. Okay. Anyone who's still in Moderna, if you've got a long in Moderna, just be aware, my original target was 405. We could easily get there. There's really not a whole lot stopping us from getting to 405. If you were able to keep on, I was not able to hold on to my long because now it's up at like $6 and change. 405 is the resistance level. If we can cross 405, there might be another trade to break out on the upside. 405 would be the high from the 27th and the 26th. So double top there. Just be aware, 405 on Moderna. There. Futures, I've already talked about this, right? We're kind of hesitating around here. We needed to take this in the first 5-10 minutes. We're hesitating. That means I take some profit out and I wait to see what more I can do with this. I'll tighten up the stops because I don't want this to kind of come back into a range. That's the last thing I want to do is try to range trade this. We are up 7-8 points on this at the moment. We've locked in, I think, somewhere around 7.5 points on some of these contracts. So we're going to leave that alone. Lucid coming back in finally after breaking out and then kind of stalling and coming back against me, and now we're slowly working these 50s again. We went as high as 77, but yet we were not able to keep on going. So 50 is going to be a problem. We just need to kind of get through it one more time. If we can get above there, what's the stop on Lucid? It is sitting a full dollar below. So I'm looking just below 1750 on Lucid there. So we're going to give it a chance. It has potential, but if this starts to fail, if this thing keeps on failing at 1850, I'll take my 5-6 cent hit and walk away because I don't want any part of this. And since ChargePoint flipped around, I'm going to start looking for potential shorts on trades that I lost on earlier. I know a Chewy, I want to go long above 80. I just want some stability before I go for that long. ChargePoint potentially on the short side. I think I may have missed that boat. I was thinking 23.50. I probably should have spun that trade as soon as I got stopped out, but that could potentially still be a short that I could work with. So ChargePoint on the short side, Moderna, Chewy on the long side, and we're going to keep a close eye on the futures. What's up, Brennan?
Big Five Sporting Goods, another one that has quite the short interest, about 30+%, 32, 34% last I checked. Got up to 33 there at the end of the day yesterday. Big sell volume there at the open, 3.5% for BGFE.
All right, Chewy working 80s looks like. Okay, we're going to keep it close. Like I said, Chewy, right? I'm working Chewy. I'm looking at Chewy, see if we can get some stability above 80 even for me to go long. And I'm also keeping an eye on NVIDIA, guys. NVIDIA to the downside, potentially below 23.50. So we bounced off of it. It seems like we went as low as 23.32 on some stops. If we can actually stay below 23.50, I'll actually reset the alert. So if it gets back down there, I'll just get back in. It's right there at 223.50 and change. They're still working it. I need some more action. There goes Chewy, guys. Oh, wow. Chewy already at 60? Oh, Chewy at 80, 60, 80, 70, 81 even. You're seeing some aggression to the upside on Chewy here. We want longs, but that happened so quickly. I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that it was actually that far away.
Here it comes. I mean, it's just a violent move here for Chewy. I mean, we're long it, but we just got dumped on Asana. So Asana just got absolutely murdered to the downside there. We got back in long. I thought maybe we got flushed there on these levels, but looks like it still wants to flush. So Asana will take one more shot at this, and then we're going to get out if it breaks through 78. So we're very, very close to being stopped. Obviously out the second time on ASAN. So not a good start there for ASAN for me today on that one. But again, it's fine. We can. Whoa! I didn't even notice this coffee here. Wow. Good thing we didn't do that. You would have got that all over you. But okay. Yeah, there goes Chewy. You talked about that. I'm going to wait. I mean, I want an 81 break, and we're going to hold on to Chewy and see if we can't really moon this thing to the upside here. We need to get a bigger winner here because we just took like a $3 hit or whatever on Asana. So, I mean, we're looking to get something back here on Chewy. That should be good. I mean, Neo just continues to be the gronker of them all, man. Up to $40 again here. Nice win. We keep buying these dips on Chewy. We do that over and over and over again. So that's a good one. We go bullish on that name. Seems like that might be the only one that's bullish right now, though. Unfortunately for us, but we do have here also, I did want to talk about DD. I'm buying these bottoms, and we're going to see if it holds yesterday. So if you could see yesterday here, these 890 areas, this is a level of concern. So we'll see if it holds 890, but I am into DD now. Average price 23, so we're out of the money now, 20 cents. Even more now, it just got spiked to the downside, but we'll wait to see what DD does. It's down that 2%, just a nasty move to the downside. We did take out a little bit there. Initially, we were really happy with DD. I thought we had that the right way. It looks like we have that the wrong way right now, because obviously if this was a short, we'd be super happy with ourselves. But instead, man, some of these longs today, Arun, they just didn't print the way we thought they would. It's not a huge amount of risk, but again, you know, a loss is a loss, and don't have a problem talking about it, but this is one today for me on DD. So let's wait to see if it breaks that 890. If it does, we're going to be out of that one. Asana coming back with a vengeance right now. If we can get something at 82, I think that'll be worth taking. We'll make $1.50 back on some of the shares that we had. So if that can come through, great. I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe 81.75. Let's put an order at 81.75 in case we get one of those rips.
Are you looking for Asana?
Asana, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm done with Asana. It's like those thin names.
I should have been done with it.
Those thin names, if you can get the trade off the open and works in your favor, you kind of go with it. But if you can't, for me personally, it's just the way I trade it. I'm looking for the initial push off the opening volume, and if I can't get it or if I'm wrong with it, then I just kind of walk away from it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with an Asana. But I have picked up some shorts in AI and a long in Chewy down at 80.14. So we are flipping directions on Chewy, and I just grabbed some shorts on AI. Brandon, what's up?
Big volume alert there, guys, for American Eagle coming back through, I guess it was 27.5, maybe, that little pivot there on the way down. But big volume went off there on the way back up for AEO.
Oh, damn it, AEO.
Well, that was another one that you were short that one. Yeah, I mean, goddamn. What are we doing today? It's been fine. It's been fine today. I mean, we have a big winner on NEO. Chewy's going to be a winner for us. We haven't got out of that one. I just wish that my 78 evens was at 78.50 because right now that would be a $2 winner right there as well. So we were trying to buy these dips in Chewy. We just weren't aggressive enough. We waited way too passively down here at 78. So I don't think we want to do that anymore. We're going to let this one fly and see if it can get a little bit higher than this. I think it's overdone even now at 8%. I thought that was the case down here at 78, 79, but we didn't get any more bids. We still could be wrong, man. The market's only been open for 15 minutes. So let's not celebrate too much here on any of these wins because they're not wins until they actually print. So let's get going to the upside. A target for Chewy, we can look, where's my 7-minute chart here?
Long?
Yeah, I'm long. Target for Chewy, I mean, there's going to be nothing until we get all the way back here. So for right now, let's just keep on going to the long side here with CHWY and see if it can crack through 81. I think we'll get some out at 80, 81.50 or so, but that still needs to happen. So let's hopefully Chewy can make that move.
Yeah, a couple positions. Obviously, some of them that aren't working, like AEO spun right around. I'm surprised at the aggression to the upside on AEO. Obviously, you would think that there would be some extension at least towards 26 before we get this kind of move. But the fact that it actually bounced right off the low of 26, 12 or 13, and then right up to 28, well, clear buy interest, right? This one I'm not going to take on the other side. So I'm not going to take the long on AEO. Even if it sets up, this is going to be a problem because the volume is the read. When I flip trades, I like to make sure that I get a pretty good handle on volume, and this kind of buy interest going all the way up. If I were to go long 28, where do I put my stop? 27, maybe? What's the upside? I'm not seeing anything really. You might get 30, but this momentum has to carry forward through 28. And given how much they've already spent to get this thing all the way up to 28, I'm not sure if it's going to be worth taking a shot on the buy side on AEO. I may be wrong, but again, I'm not willing to put up the risk. LCID though, I think I may have to do some damage control on LCID in front of 50 because this 50 is starting to act really weird. So I'm just going to actually walk away from this trade, maybe take a 10-cent hit or something like that in front of 40. If we can get up there. But for now, I am going to look at getting out of LCID. Brendan, what's up?
A couple things. Keep seeing Spotify flying by on some scanners, guys, so heads up on Spotify. Scopus Biopharma here, teaming up with this Duet Therapeutics as well in the deal. Little one, but early halt alert here for Scopus, SCPS, making some moves on volume, guys.
Okay, we'll do it a little bit now. We'll hit some confetti because we just got out of some Asana right there for about $1.50. Again, we got flushed out there. I hate that. This happens to me too much. I got to do a better job of trying to figure out and not take these flushed out spots. I mean, I thought I was initially going to get out around 79. We waited for that 78.50 or so to break. It does, and then we get out, and then now it's ripping back to the upside. And here we go, man. Just Cash City right here, starting to happen on Asana. So good for you guys there, and we'll just wait to see where that goes from here. Asana, it's been a little bit of a frustrating day, but hey, we're back and we're ready to rock and roll. We're not going anywhere, that's for sure. So let's just watch this stock go to the upside here. Asana 81.58 right now. We're long at 79.80. You know, again, we're not going to ring the register. We're still negative on the name, but just a couple more moves upside here, and we'll be right back to the Greensville on ASAN. Sometimes you need to wait for it to happen. But what we're doing right now is let's go, man. We hit the disco ball because there it is again. Bang for Neo, Arun. Finally, it's starting to go. We talked about this every single day. Buying these dips. This is a 7-minute chart. Look how this looks on a 1-minute play here. This is the play that we're talking about. Neo to the moon. And yesterday, remember when we was like, oh man, we didn't hold for $2? Well, now we're in the money at $1.22. And look at this. Let's go. Come on, Asana. You've got what it needs to take here. Let's go to the upside. $83 are waiting to get out. I'm going to cancel that and take a little bid right now. Big move on Asana. We're $2.50 in the money.
Nice. That's a nice trade. Futures, let's talk about futures because futures has taken 40, has taken the highs. So now that our highs are out of the way, it's just a matter of can we keep this going? We should get a run. We should have an open door towards 45.50 throughout the day. I'm going to, at this point, no more profit taking. We're going to tighten up the stop. We're going to leave them. Only thing we have to worry about at this point is this being a false breakout, right? We're already in the money. So even if I move the stop up, we're going to lock in some cash on this move. Well, I've already taken some out for 7.5 to 8 points on the first leg, 2 exits there. So I'm going to move the stop in just underneath 34. We're going to leave it there and see if we can't play for an extension. In the event that there's a false breakout, I guess I'll walk away with like a 2-3 point winner on the remaining portion of this position, which is fine with me. I can accept that. That also covers a lot of the losses that I'm taking on the stocks at the moment. So positions that I've got right now: AI on the short side, Chewy on the long side. Chewy coming back in after getting as high as 81, coming back into the 80s. This, again, I'm going to put the stop in. I'm actually not going to use 77. I'm actually going to use 78. We're going to use 78 on the stop on Chewy there. So we'll leave that line right there. And that's it. So Chewy has broken out through the top. We're still waiting for AEO. What does it want to do with 28? We are short down here below 26.5. It is out $1.20. We need to see what happens with 28 before we get out. But for now, we are on the short side with AEO. And this is actually a good thing. The fact that it bounced back this far, if it were to break down again through 26, this allows me to get in again, because I know for a fact that if it were to do it now, I can actually move the stop, at least on this position, to break even. That allows me for a second entry. That's at least the way I trade and move stops. So for now, we are going to look at AEO and what it does with 28. And I'm out of LCID, like I said, in front of 50. I don't like what's happening. We're walking away with a 10 cent, like a 12 cent hit on the LCID. Brendan?
Little one, guys, uplist actually from the OTC markets. Shout out to Jeff Mendel. But anyone looking at this OMQS, which is Omnique Corporation, the IT software services company, up big time today. Huge range on this. 12 at the bottom pre-market, got up to about 18 there. Coming back in, but just so everyone's aware, it's an uplist today from the OTC markets if you're watching OMQS.
It's at 50 right now.
Okay, thanks for that, Arun. Me and Arun just talking under our breath a little bit here because we're discussing some of these trades about Palantirs. Wow. Yeah, thanks for bringing this one up, Arun. Again, we are at these multi-day break levels one more time right here at 26.50. So let's take a long through 26.50 on this one. If it can come through, then fantastic. Thank you for pointing this out, my man. We'll see how that goes. Asana all the way up, man, to 83.50 there, giving us $4 worth of a winner. So we'll watch out for that. I still think it can go. We did take out a lot of our risk now. So good. We made back way more than half of what we lost. If we can get an 84 tick, then we're flat on the name. But still, we're not going to celebrate too much. But one thing that we are going to do, man, look at this. NEO continues to go to the upside here on this trade. We still have a piece of this. We were able to hold out. And now I'm wondering if this is enough here for NIO on the one-day range. We are starting to break out again. We put it on our watch list. Everything's on here. So good to go so far for NIO. Nice move, man. I think we should probably just take this at this point, but I always say that, and then we wind up getting burned. So let's just check out a 20-minute chart. I did want to talk, someone said, will Sean talk about Fastly today? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. Okay, up to 40 and change. So yeah, we're way off this now, upside, but hey, it just bounced off 40.50. I think we could take some out here on NEO and just celebrate this $1.30 win, guys, and watch it through 40.50 at some point. But here it comes up. Let's take it out if it goes through 40.25 back on the downside. We'll give up a little bit of that. But hey, man, we had most of this run. That's a great trade for me. Out at 40.25, just absorb some of this and see where we go.
Yeah, another trade I'm looking at right now, FUTU, nice little bounce off of what I had marked off as support, which was around 107.5, and it chose to pretty much come in line with that. It came as low as, 106.96, so I mean, given how thin it is, that you can adjust for slippage and leave that alone. But I am looking at potentially going long on FUTU. You see the strength, you see the support around 110 and change. If I can get a dip down one more time, I might actually go, actually let me do that now. Let me go ahead and send an order in and see if we can get a bid close to 111 and change, just to get in a little bit. I'd like to play on FUTU. The fact that it bounced like that kind of helps with the confidence in the read. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an order in and see if we can get a fill in front of 111.50. I'll pay up. It's gonna be about $4.50 or so. So we'll leave that as is. What do we have? Futures. Oh, I took one more exit on the futures, guys, in front of a 40, or at 40 actually. So 3 different exits here. As we come in, as we are working this resistance zone, we blew up the stops, are coming back in a little bit. I don't want to see a failure, and I'm protecting against that. So I am starting to take profit. In the event that it comes back off, at this point, I will take out below 34 and change, but for now, we are protecting as much as we possibly can on the futures in front of 40. Just see if we can actually play this into the rest of the day. If we can't, then hey, at least I made some money, right? We've got Valeria at the big screen. What's up, Valeria?
Harun, Data Storage Corporation is up around 27%. Could you guys give us a quick look at DTST stock?
DTST. Sean, you want to take this?
I can look at DTST in a minute, yeah, but right now we're going to celebrate Chewy because we just, I mean, how many times, Arun, are we going to look this Chewy gift horse in the mouth? So we did just get out right there. It breaks through 80. We get the long, and then we grab this out right here at 81. So we actually got $80.91. And wow, Ethereum right now taking out 3,800. That's going to be a good one. I haven't been able to trade it at all today, but ETHE is going to be something that you might want to look at if you guys are looking. I mean, yesterday I traded a lot, but nice move to the upside here on ETHE going through today. 36.50 open, 37 and change right now. Is that starting to go? And yeah, check. Oh, Palantir just broke. I don't even have the order out. Look at Asana right now. This is a nice move to the upside. A couple more pennies, and we're at $84. Get me out. I'm sitting right here. Did I just get that print? I did not. I'm right here ahead of $84. If we could get it. Bang, Asana, $4.50 win right there. Let's go, man. We're back in the money on this, baby. Let's go with Asana. I believe that was Brendo.
Global Star Satellite, guys. GSAT, you remember earlier in the week there was some Apple ties to this company. Apple was talking about iPhone 13 having some satellite capabilities, but they're popping up here again today. 15% coming up to day highs for GSAT. They got a $37.5 million early payment from one of their customers.
I mean, I love the fact that we've got this hat. I want to say a big shout out to Trader Prad for the Palantir hat, because today, man, yeah, Palantir printing that cash, because I mean, we're long. I mean, look, diamond hands or not, we did get out of some of this before. This was just a patented play, and I just wish I could rewind. I mean, we wish we could rewind a lot of clocks, to be honest with you. But when Palantir IPO'd, Arun, and I don't even know if you know the story of Palantir, but look at it. Look at the Palantir chart over here. Like, you know, that's where it IPO'd.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it broke, it was game over and never really bothered to come back. So right down there, that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for. If you ever find things like that on IPOs or whatever, especially Palantir, which wasn't IPO, it was introducing the stock to the market, but this was a company that's been around for decades. So Palantir comes out, has a problem. I don't know what the problem was down here, and all of a sudden people started getting excited about it, and it started to rip back to the upside. So that's why I'm super excited about Palantir, because of some of these movements down to the downside. But we did miss that Palantir break at 26.50 because we were watching Asana. We were looking at some of the crypto plays as well. So we did miss some of those plays, but we're back long now, or we are long now. And unfortunately, it's just at 60 here. So we will put some more bids down at 50. The fact that it's going up when the NASDAQ's doing this makes me pretty happy for that. $4 now in the money on Asana. We made it all back. I just imagine we don't have that tick right there. Then it's just whatever, who cares? We have it, so we can't imagine that. But there it goes through the upside. A nice play for Asana, picking that bottom, although we did get hit, but we're back into the money on it. So, hey, man, what was a good stock, what was a bad open, has actually turned out to be pretty damn good. NEO, we are out of NEO right there. We didn't take the ultimate top, man, but for me, this is what that meant for me all day today. Just spitting it out. It was a great trade on NEO. I mean, we have bottom ticks, and now that's where we got out. So we'll tweet that one out about buying some of these levels here from past days. We love buying the dip on NEO. That's a good trade for me.
Yeah, PLTR on that break above 60, the multi-day break. I've already got it actually. I've got 61s and change. We're 3 cents in the money. We have space to the upside, so why not let it go, right? At this point, I'm going to use 26 even as a stop. I'm going to give up 60 cents or so and see if we can't get a break. I'm looking at the wide target. I've got nothing that I can potentially use, so I'm going to leave it alone, see how far we can get with PLTR on the upside. AEO respecting that 28 mark, coming back off a little bit. That helps the situation. That means we chose the right prices to put the stop. So 28 even, holding well. We are short just below 26.40 and change. What else we have? Chewy coming back in, testing these 80s a couple times. We are going to let Chewy go and expect. The expectation for Chewy, at least for me right now, unless things change very quickly, I'm looking at the first target of 86.50. So all the way up here. Are we going to get that full retracement? I don't know. Is that greedy? Potentially, but there's a long day ahead. I'm going to manage this as this comes out. Of course, if we fall off again, I'm going to have to end up taking the hit. But for now, we are expecting a big target on Chewy. I'm looking at the volume, and I'm not seeing any potential areas that we could get kind of stalled out here. Maybe that 81.50, slightly 81.50 might be a problem right around here. But apart from that, there really isn't a whole lot If we can cross 81.50, there isn't a whole lot stopping us getting us back into that 86.50, 87 range. So I'm going to set that as a target, but I'll leave management. I'll leave the trade to get managed on its own. What else? We have AI kind of holding well above 47.50. We are short below 47.50, but it's holding well. So this might actually have been just a false breakout through the bottom, holding well. So now we may be locked into this trade. The risk on this is fairly tight anyways. It's not a whole lot. It's like 50 cents. So we'll leave it as is and see if we can actually get this move back below 50. So that's going to hold well. PLTR up 12 cents now. Now you're going to start to see the acceleration in PLTR, right? We got that multi-day break. The multi-day break being this. This is what I was talking about. We kind of worked this 26.50 through 26.60 for a couple days now. We came up through there with strength, good volume, ability to absorb any selling coming through, and then here we are accelerating towards 75. So we're going to wait on that to see if we can get more. And here goes Chewy above 81. Again, like I said, 86.50 and change is the target. And of course, at the same time, futures. This is what we were worried about, right? When we were working this future zone near the top end of this resistance, we were worried that this could be a false move because this could easily have, like this happens so often, especially when you watch the futures all day, every day, like I do. This happens so often that's not even surprising. So at this point, I've gotten out as much as I possibly can while giving myself a chance to actually keep on making money if it were to keep on expanding to the upside. So again, remaining position is going to be trailed down below 45.35 potential. I want to see how it trades though before I jump on board. But I do want to see how well we trade through here. If we get some strength, I might actually just step into some more longs trying to play against this range top and try to see if we can't get stops taken out. But for now, though, I'm just going to maintain as is. Chewy up 88 cents, PLTR up 4 cents now, and we're still waiting on AEO to come back down and AI to come back down as well. And we're going to go to Brendan with what's happening now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets here. We are positive still, although we are seeing a little bit of downward action. You can see the Dow leaking off a bit, the Russell as well, coming back to the downside, but still positive right across the board, pretty much 0.3% for everything at this point. Here in Toronto, about 0.5% for the TSX, so a nice day to start. A few things we were talking about in the pre-market. AI, C3 AI was on the watch list this morning. They did break that low initially from yesterday aftermarket. Immediately retook it though, 48, trying to hold as support right now. Huge volume behind that move in C3 AI so far. Space, Virgin Galactic on the watch list. Yeah, the FAA looking into the descent, Richard Branson's descent apparently from space. They broke some rules, but right back to positive and then some for Virgin Galactic, guys.
Here goes AI.
Broke some rules, huh? Okay, we'll watch this. I saw that this morning. I thought maybe that was a bigger story, but I mean, I didn't see really too much movement on the stock. So we will have another look at that. When DD comes right back up to VWAP, so we did get a little bit out there. I mean, you know, this is not going to be a good trade. We're long at 21. It's at 10. So we'll wait to see. We'll get a little bit more out if we can on the upside here. But I guess I could cancel my 45 offer. We'll see if that could come through. I'm going to wait to see if we can get it back into this area, and then we'll fly from there. So, okay, another update quickly on what we're trying to do with Asana. As that's starting to come back in a little bit here off of that 84 out that we had. So we still have one piece left. It's 25% of this bottom position left. Out 25, 50, 75, all the way up, playing this momentum. Asana's still up 8%. Like Chewy, man, we had to hold on to this for a while before it was able to come back. It's crazy that I have that out there. Wish we didn't, but we do. That's just part of risk management. And I think that Arun and I do a pretty damn good job of explaining our risk management to you guys. And that's what that is, right? We're not some of those traders that just keep piling in and pretending that we're actually trading shares. This is real money, real shares. Like, we have our livelihoods on the line here every single day. So I don't want to say our livelihoods, but you know, this is what it is. We get paid what you eat, what you kill here in the stock market. And those of you that know that have been through this before. So welcome to the jungle. Like I said yesterday, the water's warm, I feel like, if you're trading with us, because we're trying to sort of hold hands here. I'm going to use 82.50 as an out here on Asana. So long story short, I'm going to give this one about $1 back. I still think we can go. This is well overdone. I thought it was a great quarter. I don't even know why this fell back in. And I think that once people start to realize that, then we start to go back to the upside with Asana. So let's wait for that. Maybe we need to go into Asana after this. Chewy, 81.50 continues to be that high, Arun. That was going to be my initial target the first time, but we kept seeing it bounce off 81. So we got it out there at 81. Now we still have a third. We only have a third left of this because I really don't like the way it's trading, to be honest with you. It's back and forth and around, just way too much for me here. There's really no straight lines one way or the other. I mean, you have these big moves, back, back, back. This is what I'm talking about. This is just too dangerous. I feel like you can get stopped out so easy on this, but I do want to let this run up. I think Chewy was a better quarter than a minus 8%. But again, what I think doesn't necessarily matter as Chewy continues its march to the downside right now, still down 8%, and it just bounced off that 81.50. That's probably a good spot, man. Maybe I'll put another out here at 81.32. We're pretty light on it, but still, a win is a win. We need to keep that money going. What is, DTST. That's that, and Brandon brought this name to us a long time ago. Now I'm seeing the chat like blow up about it, and I feel bad because we didn't really look at this one. I don't know what FCUV is doing or Vinco Ventures. We have to look back at those ones as well. But, oh, come on, chart. As we're loading here, I'm looking at my e-signal charts. I have another, I don't know if we have any cameras. You can sort of show our setups here. Well, we don't need to. That's fine. DTST making moves up to 550 and now coming right back in here on the 1 minute. We're going to test VWAP. You do have some support down here at 480, 490. So here it comes. That cracks, man. You might want to get short or get out of your longs on DTST, guys.
Yeah, another trade that I'm seeing kind of real, well, stock that's accelerating, LAC. Wow.
The Clippers.
What's that?
The LA Clippers is
Oh,
LAC,
yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Lithium America. It is just absolutely on fire here after breaking 20. Here it is at 22.17, straight up, and it's still going strong. You can see the volume on it. It's done, so how much? 3 million shares since we've opened. Our service came online at 6 a.m. and still going strong. You see the trajectory of this thing. This is quite impressive. And after I see it trade, I'm just like, you know what? Let's maybe potentially get some and start working this. Oh, it might be gone already. But there's for anyone who wants one stock that's going in one direction, there you go, LAC to the upside. AI coming back a little bit. So this is not going to be a good breakout here. I may have to actually cut and run on this as well. Not just yet, though. I want to see how it works. I'm actually going to put a bid down on AI. And work my way out of this in front of 48 if I can just get 48. Otherwise, if I can't get 48, I'm gonna have to take the hit at the stop, because at this point, if I were to get out right now, it makes no sense. The stop is this far away for a reason, right? So if I can get as close to my exit as possible where I think the trade failed, that's great. If not, I'm just gonna let it hit the stop because I really don't have much of a choice at that point. So here goes LAC at 54 now. Okay, still going strong. AEO coming back in through 27.50, backing away from the 28. That's a good thing to see. So we are going to look at 26. I'm going to send an alert in for AEO to see if we can actually get another position. If 26 were to go, I think another position is in store for AEO. Brendan, what's up?
I was just checking on that Lithium America, guys. Remember, that was another one that popped up way back in the day as far as short squeezes go. So we're still around 14.5% as far as the short interest for LAC, guys.
So we'll end our trade. We'll look at that. We'll end our trade on Asana. So we are slightly, un petit peu, negative on Asana, a little bit there. So we'll say, oh my God, because I can't believe that it came back and we were able to. We were in big time trouble there. And I know, you were in this long as well, Arun. We were both caught in all of this, man. But, I believed in this move to the backside there. And, thank God we were able to get that tick right there. It almost looks like it's unrealistic that we got that, but that was a good one. And then now it's breaking back down below that 82.50, so we did cash out there. We actually got 82.46s or so, which is right here. So we did get that trade as real as it can be right there on Asana. So good trade there. Hopefully we can, continue with the good feels on this one into today. So we'll see about Asana right now trying to go. Other than that, though, man, we can talk about Palantir. That's, got out some at 75. I do that every time. We would have loved to have been long 50. We talked about that. That was a multi-day break on Palantir. I can't see it on here. You can see it on a 7-minute chart, which is right here, I believe. Right there, yeah. So there's the multi-day break. And I'm glad that we talked about that. So there's a good trade there for us and rinsed a little bit out. Should have got longer when it dipped in. Again, didn't. We'll put some bids at 26.50, but there that one goes. Chewy still battling, not doing much. And DD coming back from the dead here a little bit, breaking back to the upside. So we still have like 90% of this position on board as well. So I'm feeling the DD moves here. So let's wait to see if that one can go. Let's take a little bit off now. We are long at 21s. We could take a 5-cent hit on this. We should do that. So DD right now coming back in up to 9.15 here. We're making a lot of this money back, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat was talking about GSAT, so I pulled up the GSAT chart. And it's kind of, it is running, definitely running today, but it is actually coming into some resistance. Going back, there you go. We are coming into some resistance. We are coming into some resistance around 235, 240 and change. It's a $2 stock, so a 5-cent range is, relatively speaking, it's kind of wide, especially how the level 2. Actually, no, this is Lucid. That's why. I thought the chart on this was a lot thicker, and there you go. That's what you see here. These are raw shares, right? On Sean's screen, you see the 1s and the 2s representing 100 shares. Mine, you see the absolute value. So if 76,000 is there, it's because there's 76,000 shares on the bid on MEMX. And right now, MEMX actually holding the bid and the offer. 33,000 on the offer, 50-something thousand on the bid. Here we go. There's a lot here. You can see the volume that's moving through there. There's 61 million shares traded on the day, and we are running into resistance. Even though we've gone strong, just be aware that the next leg up would have to come above 250 because between now and there's going to be some profit taking done from 230 going on up. It's going to have some profit taking done. So just be aware that this is running into some resistance on GSAT. Brendan?
Sunrun, guys, when we were talking about, I think it was yesterday actually, there was some positive talk on, it was JP Morgan actually that came out with a positive note on the solar space, but specifically this one, Sunrun, making moves to today's high here.
Someone said, buy the dip on the futures? Absolutely not. No, not yet. I'm protecting my gains because I already have a good price on the long. But would I go for a long right now? No, not yet, because we still have to worry about this range. This is the range that's been in play. We got some stops out of the way. I don't see just enough to go for the long just yet. It's got to make sense that we are setting up the right way, and I don't think we are just yet. So just be aware that this may just come right back into the range and trade, pretty much range trade for the rest of the day. Expectation, just, you gotta kind of set your expectations for a couple days before going into a long weekend. So are you gonna get the volume that you need to get that push? The opening press, yes, that was our best chance to get going. And now that stops have gone off and we're coming back in, I hesitate to go for more, maybe towards the end of the day if we start to kind of stabilize here in the midday session through 35, through 36, and maybe take a shot at the highs again towards the end of the day, yes. But for now, though, I'm just going to protect what I have left. And we're approaching this 34, 30, 35, 34 area. This is the area, if we kind of get through here and kind of keep on selling, I think I'm out of the remaining position and we'll walk away. We've done more than enough we needed to cover to take care of some of these losses in these stocks. So I'm happy. Overall, it's going to do what it wants to do, and we just got to see what kind of information we're going to get around this 44.35 area. For now, though, there isn't enough to work with, so I'm just going to be patient with it. I'm still on the long side, but I am protecting, not adding more risk to the table just yet. AEO finally walking away from 27.50 and change. We are slowly kind of creeping back down towards 27.20 would be the first target for me. I'm not taking profit, I mean checkpoints. Or I'm thinking if we get below 27.20, okay, now we have a chance to get towards 26.80, and then we have a chance to get towards the lows. I'm just thinking in terms of checkpoints on how well this stock actually has some sell side pressure. For now, though, it just seems like it's backing off. So holding well, strong above this 20 area, 27.20 area for now. Chewy still kind of flirting with the 80.50, working its way. Given how we've traded in the pre-market, we were short, we got out, we went long, now we're up 50 cents or so, 30 cents, and we're waiting for this to kind of digest, and then we'll let the stock go. If it wants to go to the upside, you know my target is 86.50 and change into 87. If we were to break back to the down to the downside, then I mean the game changes at that point. I probably walk away from Chewy as well. For one of my things is if I go for the short and that doesn't work out, and then I go for the long and that doesn't work out, I think I can't get a good read on the stock, so I'm just going to walk away from the stock at that point, right? Two trades. If I'm wrong on both of them, I can't see it. So let's just walk away and see something or look at something that we can actually get a better read on.
Yeah, there's so many names, and we talk about that all the time. There's so many names in this universe here that we don't need to trade only one of them. But what name that you should be trading, we talked about this earlier, was crypto. And there's that break of 3,800. So there goes Ethereum, man, 38.50 right now, starting to rip to the high side. So, I mean, look at that ETHE product and just try to find out a way to get into some crypto as it just keeps on moving to the upside. Bitcoin as well, 50,300 and ADA still over 3. So, so far, so good. I haven't really been able to find too many stocks to trade. I mean, if you know no one other than ETHE or GBTC to trade. We do know BTCC and ETCC over in Canada as well are names to look out for in that space. But I really want something that correlates like 1-to-1 with it. So until I find that, I'm kind of going to be away from that. 914, 916, we'll wait to see here. I mean, I love crypto. I'm just trading the actual crypto rather than putting the money into play here. But there we go. Got out some DD on that move back to the upside here. Oh, it's going to be a negative stock for me. Well, maybe not, but we'll wait to see. But for right now, it's a negative name because we were in here, and then these buys was what the savior is right now. We'll wait to see. Next out, it's going to be 20, and that's when we start piling up the cash right now. People like Solana. I do have to look at that, Nicole. I do know what you're talking about. I'm also in Matic, MATIC, which Polygon. So that's been a good run as well. HVPT is Canadian. Yes, it is. Yeah, ETHE, everything. Okay, let's go over to Brendan.
Not necessarily correlated, John, but Coinbase having a great day here. Just tested 275 there at the open, but pulled back a little bit. Coming back up to day highs, though, for Coin as well.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, and I want to give a big thank you to you guys as well. So we'll go boom on that one. Thank you, Sample Stuff, right now. You know what? Like, that's fun. This is what we're here for. I'm just trying to teach. We get hit all the time, you know, but I'm trying to go. I try to be green every single day, and you're welcome, man. 530% right there. Buys at 15 cents, out at 80 cents right there. The NEO September 3rd calls. That's a lot of conviction by you. So thank you so much, Sample Stuff, and nice mustache there as well. My friend.
Yeah, just an update. AI, remember I was trying to do some damage control on AI. We went for the short. It didn't look good, so we got out. It was either I was going to get stopped at above 49.50 or I was going to get out in front of 48. We got the exit in front of 48, so a 50-cent hit here, and we were going to walk away from it. What I can also do on AI, though, I can actually set up the opposite side of the trade. The potential long above 49.50 is available now. Given how much strength we're seeing below 48 into the 47.50s, I'm going to mark out 49.50 as a potential location to kind of spin this read around from a short to a long. And I'll mark off 47 even as the potential stop. If we were to go long, it'll be about $2.50 at the moment. It's 2.5 for now. If we were to go long with AI.
Yeah, FCUV just opened up off the halt. Thank you to Chris Shrum there on the chat for talking about this with us, and it's right at that 24 level. I just realized I didn't pay for shorts. It's going to take me a second to do it, but this is a good area to go short, man. I'd get out right around here. We are cracking through that 24 area on the reopen, so I believe this isn't a horrible spot to go short, but this is a good spot. I don't know about going short. Let me take that back. This is a good spot to get out of your longs. If you're long out here, I don't know if I want to go short this name at all today because it could keep halting up. So my mistake on that one. I don't think we need to go short. I don't even have shortable shares, but we're right at that level of concern that we had for this name. So that's why I say that, because that 24 is what we wrote down, and it was just yesterday right here. 24 goes back to yesterday. We got as high as 26. I just don't know if the risk versus reward on this one is worth it. Up to $26 from a 24 short. We could fade back in like we did every single time. So I'm going to watch out for that one. Just be very, very careful if you are trading FCUV. It looks like it's having a hard time figuring itself out right now anyways. So at that level seems to be right. This BBIG, you know, we talked about this. I didn't really see too much love on this name today, so we did stay away from it. Seems like a good move. Kind of doing nothing here, although we did get a big bounce off early. There's no doubt about, that was yesterday. This is a 7-minute chart. What am I talking about? This is the 1-minute chart here today. So like I said, not a big move at all today for them. We did get a little bit of a move off the open, is what we're talking about, up to 950, and now you're just kind of fading back in. So I don't think there's going to be any halts on this yet, but if there is a break on BBIG, where could it be? I mean, we could support 850 again of Vico Ventures, but again, that's more of a break to the downside for me than a support long.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I see you, Scott. You said any. Yeah, there is a huge spike on any. Right through 750, taking out some stops possibly, but 760 would be the target I would look at. There we go. 760. It's not even a target, really. We just got to clear. This is one of those stocks where I'm going to need some clearance, meaning get above 760 and then trade. Because we've seen how aggressive this area can be, right? 750 through 760, we see how many stops go off in this area and they can't sustain it. So I'm going to need some actual trading to absorb the selling that's going to come in. Odds are, if we go through 760, probably if we take out 768, 770, they're probably going to bring some stops in. to get it up to 790 through 8. And then I want to see a drop back into this area. If we can maintain some support there, I think at that point you go for the long, but I'm not sure how I wouldn't feel comfortable going after the breakout at this moment in time. Not the way it's been trading, especially on the 30th. We saw the way it was trading up here. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So it's one of those things. If you miss it, you miss it. Here we go. As we take out 770 into 776 and 778, I want to see more trading done before I get involved. But that is an option for anyone who's watching. There you go, guys. Right through 760. That's a trade if you want to take it now.
Yeah, I see you there, Sterling. Yeah, that's what the problem is with obviously getting short, and some brokers don't have the shorts available. And I don't know if a short, Sterling, is the right play or not. This is a very violent stock, so just be very, very careful. What is this? Trader, I don't know what this means. Trader TV. At Trade TV won't work because we don't have that right now. School scammers will get destroyed. I don't know what that means, but maybe that's about the Chinese education names. I'm not sure, but we'll wait to see on that one. Palantir, we're waiting for this one to moon. If it does, then great. We're already in the money nicely on this one off of a 2660 break. We were really wanting the 2650, but we missed it, and I just said, who cares? And I basically marketed it in and got this once I realized that we did miss that. So, hey, missed opportunity there for yours truly on Palantir. We could have had 10 cents better. I don't know, missed opportunity or not. Actually, you know what? We probably would have got long like 51 or 52. So basically 8 cents, guys. That is what that is. And I said this, if this is tanking still, man, American Eagle. Okay, so it went upside there. We definitely, yeah, I'm not in it. So that's the thing. I wanted to short this thing, but that 28 was a great short. Even in here is a great short too. 27.70 into that one. I can't believe that this did bounce all the way back up that straight $2, like 10% or 7.5% back up from 26 to 28. That should have been shorted. And for me, I probably would have started here and just averaged all the way up, and then now it's finally starting to get in. So I don't know if we would have made a lot of money, but we would have made some on this AEO. I do like that one for sure. Okay, look, someone just put a bunch of, hey, what's up, Loretta? I see you there with a bunch of sunglasses there for AMC. So let's have a quick look, because I like those undercover brothers there on the chat. So let's have a look. I love posting some undercover plays. 42.50 on the bottom here. I mean, AMC is nothing undercover, but right now it's not really doing too much. I don't really like AMC when it's choppy like this. It has to have momentum. So I'm going to stay away from that one. Don't tell me FCUV just broke that back downside, did it? 23. So, okay, not too far back down, but it did just crack 23. So that would have been a $1 win for you if you were short that 24. But I still think this is a very, very dangerous play. I see Brendan over there, and it's small cap recap time, one of my favorite segments.
YG, thanks, Sean. Let's talk about some small caps. We mentioned this one just before the open here. PSTV had some positive news. If you go out to the daily time frame, 250 stands out pretty obviously as a pivot, first of all, but both support and resistance. That's 250, top end of the chart here. We don't come anywhere near touching 250. It did get up to about 247 there in the pre-market, but failed lower. So 235, 240 gave you an opportunity versus 250. We're down to $2 even now. Volume quickly drying up though on PSTV. BBIG, I'll give you my take on this one. As I said right before the open, we're kind of stuck in the pre-market inside of yesterday's range from the midday. There was a couple of levels here, 880, 940, and then 980 was these kind of highs from yesterday in the midday. So, I mean, it really hasn't done anything until we get below 880. Did take a couple of stabs at this. These are all to the short side. So we are finally breaking down, it would appear. 880 ends up being a little bit of support there initially, but it does finally break down to 820. So we'll see how this bounce occurs here for BBIG, but still decent volume. Nicola's, well, not a small cap, but maybe should be. 1150 up here was a decent level from the daily chart. I took 2 stabs at that one, guys, but Nicola still kind of fading off as well at this point. Back over to you.
Quick look at AEO here, finally coming off. Remember, first checkpoint was 27.20. We're already short, but it went against us. Stop was 28, so we came right up to the stop and then kind of just backed off here. So here we are, 27.20 was the first checkpoint. Okay, great. Now we have space down to 26.80. We're about 10 cents from that. If we can clear 26.80, 26.70, then we have a chance at going for the lows. Until then, until we get to 26 even, I think this short is still in trouble. Even though it's coming back a little bit, we may still be in trouble with this short. But for now, though, it is hitting some checkpoints, getting some space to the downside. Obviously, momentum is coming in. And of course, if we break 26 and I can move the stop below my entry price of the first, if I can move the stop below the first entry price, then I can go ahead and take the next break of 26 as well. So I'll have two entries with potentially a stop below 26.40 or 26.50, somewhere around there. It all depends on how it breaks and how it moves. But for now though, we do need to clear 26.80-ish area before we decide to go for the short or before we can be comfortable with the short, the idea of the short below 26.50. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, let's fire off some cannons here, and we'll go to Brendan for this one because we talked about space earlier, and unfortunately we didn't really trade it, but now it's taking out some highs. So we like these multi-day breaks right now, and we talked about that earlier. There it is. We had one on Palantir earlier. We're going to see if we just took this out at 27.80. We're long now at 27.90, which is way too late. So, but we are long this name space, starting to take off up that 4%, straight up like a rocket there today. So. Pun intended there, as this continues to go to the upside here. I mean, we're in some shares. Let's see it break through 28. This is going to be a good trade for us as well. Space, hopefully it's going to be a good trade as we look to break through 28. That FCUV, thank you again for the talk there on the chat, because it does go, guys. Oh, don't tell me my chart was frozen there. It does go down to 22.50. So sorry about that, Sterling, but you had the right idea. And thanks for taking listening a little bit to that on that short at 24. I wish you would have got some of those shortable shares. Again, nervous about it. It was a nervous trade. I didn't take it, but for those of you that did, that looks like that's going to be a good one to go for sure. And then other than that, nothing really going on right now. We'll watch to see where space goes. It touches 28. Maybe we get some out at 28 and then let the rest ride. What's up, Bren?
Heads up for NFT fans or anyone looking at that space. They've been moving over the past couple of days. This not necessarily related, but YVR, guys, Liquid Media signing an LOI to acquire this IndieFlix. This is an all-stock transaction. There's some performance-based metrics involved in this deal, but could be worth as much as 1.67 million shares there for YVR, up 10 or almost 10% today.
Anyone who's watching any, shout out to Scott for pointing this out before I even took it. Like I said, I wanted to see them break 8 and come back in. For anyone who's playing momentum though, man, if you took that top end around 870, you are instantly up, well, not instantly, but you are up fairly quickly, up almost 60 to 70 cents as we come up through 8 even into 840. So for me now this is starting to set up, right? And this may be the wrong way to play these kind of stocks, but I just can't really get a handle on how to play momentum runs. So I'd rather just play setups. For me now, I want to see this move back into 780, 770, 760, find a bid, find some ability to absorb any selling that comes in, because I imagine a lot of people that are playing the momentum side are taking profit as it comes back in, right? So if we were to come back in underneath 8, we probably have some people taking profit. So if we can absorb all that selling and still stay stable, then I think at that point you could say that the setup is there for you. You go for the long, and that's what I'm waiting for, right? If I go for the long around 770 or 780, I'm going to put my stop below 650. So it's about $1.20, and we have upside. There's nothing stopping us really from going not, I don't want to say straight up, but at least towards 10 as a first target. So we can put up the risk on this trade. I think it's worth it as long as the setup is there for me. And that's just the way I trade and the way I feel comfortable trading, right? There is a case to be said for momentum runs and going after stocks that when they're taking even levels and certain price points. I trade slightly different, but I'm more comfortable holding on to certain things, specifically AEO, guys. Here we go, 2680. This is the final checkpoint before 26. If we can clear this as well, I think we really have a chance to go after 26. So I'm just waiting to see if, well, I mean, it's not really up to me. I'm either getting out at 28 or I'm adding more at 26. But depending on how it trades here is going to be pretty much whether I'm getting more or I'm going to be letting the original position run. Because how we trade here will determine where my stop ends up being if 26 were to go. And depending on where the stop is, as long as the stop is below where my entry price is right now, which is 26.38, as long as the stop is below that, I'm okay taking another leg of the position. But if I have to put up more risk, there's no way I'm going to double up on a position and use a larger stop if I were to take another shot at a 26 break. But for now, though, futures bouncing off that support area. This was the area I was looking at, right? 34, 35. 33, 34, 35 in this area. Somebody asked, is it a good time to go for the long off the bounce or off the dip? I made the case for no, just because I wouldn't want to take more risk knowing that there's this kind of action above, the fact that we can't get sustained buying above it. If your stop is tight, I imagine you can play that game. But for me, though, I'm pretty much protecting what I have long at 30. So for now, it's an $8.50 winner. But again, my protection point is down here below 34, 33-ish. So I'm only going to walk away from this trade with a $2 to 3 point winner if we were to come back in. But again, I've got most of it out at the top end of the range, so I'm okay with that, right? You got to kind of do that trade-off once in a while to allow yourself to kind of hold on to things, and that's kind of the trade-off I've done. And Chewy coming back in. Okay, Chewy still working that 80.5. Maybe this isn't going to break out just yet. Maybe Sean was right. We got to be worried about this 81 area, and I may just walk away from Chewy very soon.
I just want to say I thank so much for Arun. We're going to be missed, man. Arun definitely with the valuable information there. And I thought I'd have a problem with Arun not talking too much, but he's carrying the show. So thank you so much, Arun, once again for all the wins and just how well you've been for us here at Trader TV Live. I know everybody's definitely appreciated that one. But I, like you, I'm hoping for that 86 on Chewy. So ever since I heard you say that, we're going to hold out.
It's too late. I'm out.
For that. Oh, he's
I
out
walked
now.
away.
Okay.
I'm
You walked
done.
away. Damn you, Arun.
It's not worth the risk at this point.
Brendo, what up?
A few things. Just saw a Kroger, guys, KR, all-time highs today. So there's that. Also, somebody talking about Upstart. They announced yesterday a digital lending platform in Spanish. So I'll look into that a little bit more. But Upstart here having quite the day, 7% for UPST. So good find on that one. Also wanted to show you, if I can flip over here quickly, Sphere 3D, NE on the NASDAQ, 20%. This is 52-week highs for this one. What a tear this has been on, from 4 now up to 8, guys, in about 5 days.
So I do. Arun will. Thank you so much, Ryan D. Arun will talk about BGFV just in a second, but I did want to spin the money for this. FCUV. Money. Okay, I heard Sterling mention that he did wind up getting the short. There it goes, man. I talked about this coming right back in to this 22 level. It actually went down to 21.33. We talked about that short at 24 there. So, hey, I don't have it, but I knew that some of you maybe do. So I'm going to celebrate every time that I can see, the fans and just some of our traders here taking these trades and then hopefully being able to cash in on that one. I'm really glad that did happen. Palantir does crack that 26.80, goes to 26.90, now fading back in a little bit. I'm going to hold this one. We've made a lot of money back here today, so I'm really happy with the way the day's been. Look at Asana, look at some of these outs as well as we go. But that's for sure, Chris. Arun adds huge value, and we're super happy with the team that we have in place here. What a ride this has been. We're so happy we'll be happy when Neil comes back, obviously. But I think Arun obviously adds a different dynamic to the show as well. So thank you, Arun. Did you want to go over that BGFV?
Yeah, actually, shout out to, who was that? Ryan, I believe, put up the, Ryan D. Shout out to, I totally forgot about this. And good timing with that, because the way it bounced off that 33 into 34, now I'm actually looking at potentially trading this as well. You're trading this. I'm looking for the potential bounce here off 34. If we can kind of stabilize, because keep in mind, yesterday our high was around 32.5, 33. The fact that we kind of dipped underneath, went above, and then kind of hesitated right after coming through around that 33, 32 half mark. And now if we can get above 34, I think you take that shot. I'm going to go ahead and take that shot. So shout out to you, not just for putting up the question, but bringing it to my attention so I can actually now make a trade on this as well. So now this is on my radar, and I'm looking at 34 and change. Risk on this is going to be just below 32.5, so $1.50 in risk. And see if we can't get back above 35.5. There really isn't going to be a whole lot stopping us. I think the risk is worth it. Again, you got to be okay with the risk. Am I okay with the risk? I've been getting hit across multiple stocks this morning, but I'm okay with the risk though. So for 34 even is what I'm looking at with the 32.5 stop as soon as we get that close. And it looks like Nah, Chewy. Well, Chewy is still flirting with that 80 again. I'm out of the way on Chewy. I wanted $6.50. Clearly, I'm not going to get that, so I'll take away with what 15 cents or something like that. And AEO, again, 26.80. This was the next checkpoint. We need to clear it. We have yet to clear it. We are hesitating. It's kind of expected. This allowing when I put up checkpoints for certain stocks and I know I'm out of the money on them. It allows me to like mentally be prepared for the fact that this thing may bounce all the way back at this location. It's not just a matter of, oh, I'm gonna maybe tighten up the stop. No. It's a matter of me being mentally ready for the fact that, oh yeah, it went from being a huge loser to a small loser, but once we clear this, we're okay, potentially. But if we can't clear this, it might be a big loser again. What would I do? Would I tighten up the stop? If the answer is no, we're going to leave it be. So for me, the answer is no. We're going to leave 28 even as the stop and see if we can actually get this below 26.60. And if that's the case, then we may have a chance at the short. For now, though, PLTR on the long, it's still flirting. Oh my God. We've been working with PLTR for how long now? And it is not having fun up here. For whatever reason, it is not willing to go towards 27 even. 26.75 seems to be a problem. Let me pull up the larger chart on one of the other platforms, not the platforms, another charting software we have here, eSignal specifically for anyone who wants to know. I'm going to leave it be. I think the 30-minute chart looks good, so we'll just leave it as is. For anyone who's wondering what charts do I use the 5 and the 30. 30 to get me a better, a bigger picture view or the macro view of what the stock looks like. And then, of course, I'll use the 5 to help with timing. I'll use the time of sales as well to help with timing. And futures, hey, back towards 40. This is the bounce we want, so this is good. Maybe we take another shot at some highs. 45.44 is the high, so if we can get that, maybe 45.50 is in play. Brennan?
We learned aftermarket, guys, that aftermarket yesterday. Apple was going to ease some rules regarding some payments for their App Store that would positively affect both Netflix and Spotify. That was according to the Financial Times. So we mentioned Netflix already at all-time highs. Look at Spotify today, like 7%. For Spotify, having quite the day as well. It's 10:30. Let's get a check of how things are shaping up. 1 hour left in the trading day over in Europe. Ms. V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon. European markets are flat today. Trading platform CMC Markets trading in London is down more than 28% after cutting its earnings outlook by up to $110 million.
Yeah, pretty uneventful end to the week, guys, for European markets. We're not there yet, but one more day until the weekend.
Yeah, one more day, and then it's the long weekend, and then we'll have some fun over the long weekend. I hope you guys have some plans for that. Labor Day is going to be here on Monday. So no show on Monday. We are back on Tuesday as well. So obviously we're back on Tuesday. We're back every single day. We're trying to be here with you guys live, trading the markets, and again back at 3 o'clock as well. Okay, so space here. Again, we average into that one. We're using this 27.50 as our out. I don't know if I gave you the out there that I was looking at, but it is going to be that 26.50 level. So we're going to wait for that. It did just rip back into the 90s, and we did take a little piece out there off of an average. So now we'll wait to see where we're going from here. But I think we can protect this. And again, a little bit of FOMO, buying this way late. Man, the buy was right here. You had to look at this all day. And then if you take out that high at 27 even, basically, that we failed on early, made the base, then started to rip up. So this is like a chart pattern that I love, man. Looking at the day's high, comes back, bases out near some lows, and then takes off. So this is a nice pattern right there for space today. So that's something that we like. We just didn't hit it enough. But hey, right back into these levels, taking that out, then you run with that. So that's a good little level there for space. So watch out for that if you guys are trading on that one. I'm looking to get out here as we get back into the 90s on that name. Looks like DD. Yeah, we did well getting out up here, but we still do have some shares on board. We were waiting for 920 there. We talked about getting positive if we went back to that level, but unfortunately that doesn't, and now DD's right back near these bottoms. Let's pick up a few more shares. We're still trying to defend this 890, guys. Let's go a little more long on DD here and get a better average price.
Yep, I'm looking at some stocks here that are potentially... Now I got to figure out what I want to do with Chewy, because I know I don't want to be long. I want it to be short, and then I got pushed out of the short into a long, and now I don't want to be long. Do I want to play Chewy again? And I'm going to say the answer to that is no. I think at this point I'm having a hard time reading Chewy, so we're just going to walk away from it. PLTR, I also wanted to figure out what do I want to cash out Like I said last time I was talking, do I want to cash out? I think the 30 looks good. I think we leave it alone and see if we can't get a run towards 27. For now, though, it's fine. This may change again. If we get up into 26.80 and we stall out again, at that point, I may just cut this trade and walk away with that small winner. Futures, that's the only other position I've got. It's not on the board, though. That's the only position I've got. Still working, 45.40 and change. Top end of the range. We are finding good stability in that support zone around that 34-35 area. So as long as we can maintain that kind of support, this has a chance to go up towards the highs towards the latter half of the day. And I noticed in the chat, people were asking about social media, my social media. Guys, I'm not on social media. So for anyone who's wondering about that, I don't have any, you're not gonna see me on TikTok, you're not gonna see me on Instagram, there's nothing. No Twitter, none of that stuff. I may have a LinkedIn page that I barely use. I don't really use it, it's just there. But apart from that, there's nothing. So only place you're gonna see me right here, Trader TV Live.
All right, yeah. I mean, even before this show, I didn't really have anything either, and we open up the social media so you guys can get a hold of us. But Arun is going to remain that silent type on social media, which is probably a good thing for sure. Okay, DD, not just good thing because of that, but hey, if social media is not your thing, stay off of it. Okay, 895 there. We did take another bid on DD, so we did take a 90. I mean, I just put bid enter when I turned over to it. So we do take a price there. I'm not really that specific on what we take, but I am specific on the out. 890, if we do break that, then we're gonna get out of there. And you can see it's from yesterday's sort of bottoms here. Oh, sorry, that's $9, it's right down here. These ones right here, 890, 893. We cracked below. I mean, I could really push it to 75, but I mean, again, that's gonna require more averaging in, and it just, I don't wanna do that on DD. Chinese name, we'll stay away from that one. BABA was touching that 180 at one point, I believe, today. Came close and then came right back down. So yeah, Chinese name is not really getting a whole hell of a lot of love here, so we will stay away and back away from this DD average in. Well, we're happy where it is now. Our average price is 11, so if we can get back to some of these levels, then hey, we're making money on the stock, but right now it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Virgin Galactic looks like that should be a nice little trade for us here, I'm thinking. Let's just see where we go. Out again at 89, so back, sorry, 86. So back upside now to 89. We're now long 71, so this has been a decent trade for us. Made some money on this name. Now we're going to go to the upside. No more getting out. This is going to be one of those kind of like those gap and go strategies again, right? Where we talked about what we're looking for and what's about to happen. So here we go. Upside tests, back down into areas of support and then breaks. So the same thing's kind of happening again right now. It could test up here, testing 28 again, comes back in, finds a base. Now we should be able to take out 28 again and go back to the upside, but we still have 27.50 on our radar for that kind of an out. And then Chewy, man, I mean, it's not doing anything. We've already cashed in. We can't be negative on this name unless it does cash all the way back out. We took 2/3 out for $1. So I guess if we go to 78, then we'll be negative on this name, but I still hold out hope for CHWY here. That's Chewy. I like the board that we're about to see here from Brendan, especially if you're a bull. You'll like this next segment. Throw it back over to Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, lots of positivity. Let's jump right into the S&P 500 here. We'll see what is leading the way. 0.3% overall for the market. All about the energy group for the most part, as leading right now, the entire energy group nicely in positive territory. We saw a bounce back for crude oil today, 1.4% down here, 5.8% for COG, DVN, Oxy, MRO. They're all there. 4+% really for all the main ones today. Below that here, power in the industrial group leading the way, 9% for PWR, IR, GNRC in here as well. GE having a nice day. 1.8% for GE, but the entire industrials group as well in positive territory. If we have a look at things that are not so positive, you can have a look at the tech sector here, software makers specifically, a lot of negativity coming from these guys, FTNT, DXC standing out, kind of bucking the trend, offsetting a little bit. Down here, hardware equipment makers are positive as well. Healthcare stocks bouncing back as well, led by some of the equipment makers, BAX, 4%. But look at Biogen, down 2.25%. We saw AbbVie, Eli Lilly, Biogen as well come under pressure a couple of days back on some news. So Biogen with a little bit of follow through there today. Far corner over here, HRL. We talked about a little bit there, 4% to the downside in the consumer staples group. Kroger, though, 4.6%. I mentioned all-time highs today For Kroger, a nice look. Everything else basically flat at this point. Not a huge day, but 0.3% for the market. Guys, back to you.
All right. One trade I picked up while Brendan was talking was Boeing. Grabbed some longs just above 220. Risk on this is about 50 cents. I'm going to try to make $1 up towards 221 and change. So half the position will be taken out for a 2-for-1 risk reward, and then the remaining half I'll just manage it out. That's the only one, right? And then Chewy finally is coming back through 80. This is what I was worried about as we were stalling out through 80.5. Sean called it earlier, and then I finally saw it around 80.5. So we walked away from this trade, walked away with a 15-cent winner. And futures backing off the 40. This is expected, right? Where this is what it's going to take for us to actually, if we're going to go, this is how it's going to go. It's going to grind, slowly work its way back up towards 45, 44, and then go up towards 50. So that's going to be the situation with the futures. And AEO, of course, bouncing off that 2680. That was a second checkpoint. We got through 2720. We were looking at 2680 as the next checkpoint. We bounced off of it. I mean, I'm mentally prepared for this being a stop through 28 even. And I was just looking at the chat there. So you guys got some jokes. Arun with the...
What are they saying?
Arun probably still carries a pager. Oh, that is absolutely funny. But you know what I do carry?
I mean,
I don't carry a pager.
Right? Yeah.
I do carry a BlackBerry though. So
Can
for
you
the person
can you get internet on
I
that
can
thing?
get internet on this.
Can you surf the web on that
I
thing?
can surf the web on this.
Beautiful.
So for anyone who's wondering, there was someone else who said he probably has a BlackBerry ID.
Is it a
I
touch
do.
screen? Is it a touch screen?
It is a touch screen. I have you know what's also funny? It's a touch keyboard too. So it's not even just a touch screen.
I mean, that's why. I mean, I know that's why
Fancy.
BlackBerry.
I get real fancy with my BlackBerry, guys.
People love the
I
touch
do
screen.
have a BlackBerry ID for the person that probably said I may
Ping
have
'em.
one. I do. I have a BlackBerry ID, but I'm not going to share that because that's probably not a good idea. AI, guys. AI. Remember, we got out of the short on AI because of the 47.50. That was not looking good. Here we are going towards a high. 49.50 and change would have been the break. Now I'm potentially looking at spinning this trade. I talked about this earlier. 49.50. If we were to go long, I may have to use 47 and change. It's starting to look that way. So as Boeing is 50 cents in the money and PLTR is, 8 cents in the money and AEO is backing off, AI is starting to set up a little bit. So here we are, earlier short may now become a long. A lot of these trades that we were in one direction in the morning have now changed direction. Specifically, I'm looking at Chewy because we were short, then we were long. And then you saw Sean play Asana as well. We were long, and I got out. He played the short and then the long. He was all over Asana as well. So just be aware that a lot of trades that we took in the morning are now starting to flip directions and go, not necessarily with the market, but trades are starting to develop in the opposite direction. Brendan?
I was just looking at Ford here, guys. Heads up as well. AI, C3 AI starting to go a little bit. Ford just out with some monthly sales numbers that weren't great. Until you get down to this line here, electrified vehicle sales up 67% year over year. If you're looking at just August over August. Hey, guess what? My chart is frozen. I'll show you this one instead. Ford basically flat. It was lower on the day, but back to positive here for Ford on that, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to say here, I love the chat. Did I unleash Arun, or was this what he was like last week? Because this is absolutely classic. Thank you so much, Arun, for all your energy and your talk there. It's fun going back and forth with you. That's for sure. I wasn't watching enough last week, but yeah, that's good. So good job. Yeah, back and forth last week as well. So good. Yeah, I like that. That's the thing that I thought, when Neil and I were separated a bit there, you miss sort of that camaraderie of back and forth. I think it adds a lot to the show as well. And look, Arun's filling in for us. If the show does expand, obviously Arun's going to be the first one with that phone call. So, but he's doing his own thing. So we'll leave Arun to that and thank him one more time for coming through the last 2 weeks. Tomorrow's Arun's last day. So hey, you know what we haven't done in a while? I think we need to do it right now, Valeria. So get ready. What about these likes? 1.1K likes. Like, this has been a super fun show. The profits are running in. We're positive on the day here. I mean, I'm negative on Asana and ChargePoint. Everything else is cash money. But let's get that likes going up a little bit more. 1.1. I like to see this to 2K. Can we get 2K likes? Please hit that for sure if you can. And you may not want to hit the likes because of me, but I know somebody that you may hit the likes. By the way, Virgin Galactic trying to take out 28. Like we said again, that may happen. But let's go. Let's hit the likes for Arun, and let's hit the likes for this right now. Go, Valeria.
Thank you, Sean. Indeed, guys, we have 5,000 viewers. Please make sure you like this video. Likes are absolutely free, but we so need them. It's such a great support to us. And also, it helps to improve our YouTube algorithm so more people can find out about us. So, guys, please be kind and smash the like button. Back to you.
Sweet. I saw Nick here with the chat there. You've taken profit twice on any. Okay, first off, I'm not going to take any credit for any because that's all Scott. Scott's the one who pointed that out. So shout out to Scott in the chat for pointing out any.
Here comes 2K, by the way.
And I'm looking 2K.
Here it comes. It's coming. It's coming.
It's almost coming there. There you go. And looking to buy Airbnb with the money. Do you think it's a good entry? Okay, let's take a quick look at Airbnb because I'm looking at.
Let's go space.
There you go. You want to talk about space, and I'll come back to Airbnb?
Yeah, sure. Just right now we are waiting to get out a little bit on this push. I'm waiting at 28.09 right there to get a little bit out. So if we can do that, that would be great, man. A 40-cent win here on Virgin Galactic. This is exactly the playbook. Just one more time, man. So here it comes right back to the upside. Let's see if we get out now at 28.09 and then let the rest run. Just trying to play some of this momentum, but just giving an update to all you people, all you traders out there, in case you are in this Virgin Galactic with me. I am looking to get one more leg out very, very soon on this 28 break. It is having a little bit of a problem here. I thought it would run a little bit more than this. Like I honestly thought 28 would break and I would get my 28.09, but it is stalling out a little bit here. But there goes Virgin Galactic. Sorry about that, Arun.
Yeah, no worries. We're almost out of our first target on not BlackBerry. I was talking about Blackberries. Boeing approaching 221, and we're looking to make 2 for 1 on the first exit there. So we're almost out. It's getting close, but not there just yet. Okay, let's go back to Airbnb. The issue I have with Airbnb, it's great intraday trade. It all depends on how long you're going to hold this, because if you're trading this intraday, it's providing great volatility, right? It's moving like $2-3 at a time. You can go long, you can go short, and make some trades in between. But the issue is, this is a 30-minute chart, and I zoomed this out to a point where you can only see the structure of the chart. And a lot of times I do this. I look at the structure, not necessarily the candles, because we can always figure out the details of it afterwards. But the structure of the chart, you see this hesitation between 158 and 161, 162, you can even say. The way it's been trading up there provides some sell side volume. And then as soon as we broke on the 26th, every chance we got up towards 157 and that range here, that 158, 159, 160, all through that range. Every time we got close, it's been sold back down. Keep in mind the lows are also getting higher. So if you're going to go for the long, you would have to wait for this area to get taken out, like not just break out, but actually trade it through, because it seems like sell side volume is coming in on every up move or upswing to new highs, or whether it's an upswing for the intraday or through a multi-day move. So just be aware that every time we get into 158, 159, 160, you're going to see some volume coming in on the sell side. So just be careful if you are going for a long in these prices, that you want to make sure that you have the support behind you and that selling is no longer in play. As long as that selling is in play, that long is in danger, because it could easily just come back in. The day you bought it, you could easily just come back in $1 or $2. So just be aware that you are running into resistance here if you go for Airbnb. Whatever your reasons for liking the stock, technically, I would say wait, just because of the way it's been moving. It's running into some resistance here, and that could become a problem for any longs. Of course, you could argue the long on the bottom end, which is like around 155, 154, as long as your stop is in place. So if you were to play the bottom end of the range, 155, 154, 153 could work with a 150 even stop if you want to play that side. But if you're trying to trade up here, then I would be careful in the high 150s. It's kind of a treacherous trade, but at least in the low 150s, you can argue the case for a long. And we've got Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a quick look at how things are shaping up so far. I threw the Australian dollar back up on the chart again today because it's been on, this is an hourly chart, multi-day run for the Aussie. They're talking about more stimulus measures from the Bank of Australia still in the works. So 0.5% again today. You can see 0.5, 74, or just broke 74 to the upside once again, 74 cents. 0.6 here for New Zealand, typically trade one and the same. A lot of that coming from US dollar weakness as well, a little bit of a dip in the DXY after that ADP number we had this morning. So a heads up for anyone traveling, like our man Robbie here in production, well, asking me what the euro was doing today, but unfortunately it is up 0.25%, 118 and change for the euro. Canadian dollar higher as well, about 79.5 British pounds, same story. I just saw highest level for Ethereum today since May. So a nice day for Ethereum. Again, 1.3%, Bitcoin, about 3%. Yeah, it tried to stay above 50 there, but we're back below again. Guys.
All right, I actually looked at Nick's comment again. He said, is it for a multi-year hold or more than a year? I don't know, man. If you were to pull up the chart on the multi-year, this platform is not going to work, but I can bring up.
Well, Airbnb doesn't. It just. What are you talking about, Airbnb?
Yeah, it's only been traded. Yeah, it just IPO'd late last year in December. So, I mean, I'm going to look off screen, and I'm sure you can look at your own charts. I'm looking at the daily chart going back. What is it? Pretty much since it IPO'd. It's kind of stuck here underneath 170. I think if we can clear 170 at that point, you may have some extension towards the 200. But for now, though, it does look like 170 is gonna become a problem for Airbnb. It does have support in the 150. So what we are looking on the intraday side or the multi-day side could correspond to the daily chart as well, with support in the low 150s if you want to go for that. And then obviously if you want to go for the break through the top, I think 170 has to be the clearance point. At that point, you may have some good support to work with that could propel us back towards 200. But keep in mind though, Airbnb has a lot of headwinds, especially with the state of, I won't say the environment, but like the conditions that has to deal with the world right now, right? There's a lot happening, and it's a reopening play for sure, because hotels are one thing, Airbnb is the other side of it. So you do have to kind of watch out for that dynamic as well, because that news will move, or that kind of news and those kind of conditions will definitely move the stock. Maybe not helpful in a way to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you guys are looking at longer term plays, again, you know, we're strictly day trading, and I think that if you have to look at the macro events. I think Arun just did a great job there of discussing, you know, the reopen plays and things like that. I think I like Airbnb for a long term play, so I think that was good talk there. Thank you for that. I'm a little disappointed now because we didn't get to the 2,000. If there's any Arun Nation out there and or BB Nation as well, BlackBerry Nation, let's get that going to 2K. Can we just get to 2K, please? We haven't done that in a bit. We're at 1.8, so I think we can do that.
Guys, you guys can get 200 in there.
Yeah, Arun, tell them again.
You guys can get another 200 likes. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. Okay, let's get some likes and some love, hopefully, for that call on Virgin Galactic. I mean, if that's not, you know, again, we talked about this getting up to 27.10. That's the high. Sorry, 28.10. That's the high of the day. 28.11. So there's our out. We told you we were sitting there at 28.09. We get the out, and then it just drops back down into this area again. And now we'll see if it takes this area out for a top play here. So that's one of those situations right there that we like it on Virgin Galactic. It set it up. We hammered this stock. That was a good trade here for us to end the day off with that one. Palantir comes all the way back down. I'm just kind of letting this one go. I'll probably get out of that at some point here. It's not. We already got out right there for a nice little 30 cent, or sorry, I guess it was only 15 cents because we're long at 60. We should have been long at 50, but right there's the out on that one. So we're going to let that one sit down and see where we go from there on that. So
there you go, Sean, 2K.
There we go. So we got that 2K. Thank you to Arun for that one. And thank you to everybody for the 2K. So we'll fire off the hot dogs. It's been a big day. I know Ms. V appreciates that as well.
Nice. Thank you guys again for the likes to get us to 2K. What do we got left here? Futures back, well, I don't want to say back towards 40. We've been working with 40 for a while now. This is going to be one of those, I'm still carrying a position. My trail stop is below 45.34. It's probably going to slow down. So just be aware that for anyone who's not seeing how this is going to end, come back for the afternoon show. Odds are I'm probably going to be in position on this. Given how it's trading, volume's dying off, odds are I'm going to be still in position on the futures when we start the afternoon show. If you want to see how this all ends, there you go. For 3 o'clock for the afternoon close show. Boeing, I have closed out Boeing. Well, clearly I missed completely. My exit, I mean, they came as high as what, 97 or 98, and I was closed. I don't think I had any fills. The high is 220.9686. So there was some midpoints getting hit there, and I was not part of that 97 offer that was there. So couldn't get it. So no shares on the first exit there. So the fact that this was meant to be a 2-for-1 trade, I was risking, what, 50 cents to try to make $1 on the first half, and knowing that we were going to run into something up here, The fact that we instantly came off here, I'm just going to take my 18 cents and walk away. I'm happy with the 18 cents on Boeing. No point in keeping this trade if it's not going to do what I want it to do. At this point, you take your cash, you walk away. AEO, here we go again, right? Off that 2680 back towards the 28 even. Now you really do have to consider the possibility, given how it's trading, do you want to go for the long? I'm still going to say no for now. The afternoon may change things, but for now, I'm going to stay away from AEO. If I need to take the hit, I'll take the hit. But for now, we are going to stay away from that. Brendan?
A few interesting earnings today, obviously aftermarket yesterday and this morning. Here's what to expect tonight after the close and tomorrow morning.
And that guy Marcus. I'm supposed to ask you how far do you have to walk to use the payphone? But the thing is that I know that BlackBerry at least has phone calls. I mean, that must be true, right? So I know I've texted you on that numerous times.
One thing I do want to say though,
here we go.
The chat is absolutely jokes.
I know. That's the thing.
I love the comedy, the comedic aspect of it. If you're being rude for being rude, that's different. But if you've got some comedy behind it, I am all for that. I love that kind of comedy. So guys, if you guys got more jokes, just throw it in there. It'll keep me entertained while
I'm laughing
trading.
all day at this. This has been a great day on the chat, and thank you once again for the 2K. I mean, that means a lot to us. We're doing our best here every single day, coming up with the sticky notes, coming up with the talk about the futures, talking about earnings, everything like that, talking about what the national day is, and it looks pretty good. The thing is, this is just a little bit of a precursor here. The national day, you don't want to have one of these if you're wearing one of these. Okay, so you're going to see very, very soon. When we're ready, we can throw over to Miss V and discuss the national day. Let's go over to Miss V right now.
Thank you, Sean. And yes, guys, you're absolutely right that our trading family is just amazing. We're so blessed with all of you. Thank you for all the support, for subscribing, for all your likes, and for being so active on the chat, guys. You know us so good so far. So do we find out something new about you daily? Well, we'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And happy National Blueberry Popsicle Day, everyone.
You know what I'm saying? So be very, very careful if you are wearing white and it happens to be National Blueberry Popsicle Day. I don't know if I've ever had, those look like legit popsicles.
Those
you can actually
those don't look like the ones with the cream in the middle. Like
creamsicles.
The orange creamsicles. When I was a kid, oh my God, now I'm obviously better with my diet, but still, orange creamsicles were my jam back in the day. But here we go. One thing I do want to talk about before we leave here, Chewy.
Do it up.
Chewy coming back in through 79.5 now. So guys, keep an eye on Chewy. I wanted to walk away from Chewy, and I still don't really want to get involved. But if we get below 78 and trade below 78, this might be a trade that you kind of got to take at least a shot towards the low. But just be aware of Chewy approaching 78. We are still $1.50 away, but Chewy at 78 would be an interesting trade.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to just blast out of that Chewy if it does break down below that 79, because we've already made money on 2/3 there. So we'll just take a little bit out here if it does break back, or take it all out, sorry, if it does break back down below 79 there. I'm just letting you guys know that that's going to be the play. I'm going to cancel some of my orders here as we go. DD, everything. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you again for everybody for watching. We put a lot of effort into this, especially our team over there on the ones and twos. Thank you to Rob, who he'll be back at the close, but we're going to wish a safe journey for him as well. And thank you to Lucas. Thank you to Brendan and Miss V, as always here, and Maggie, who was doing some running around earlier for us as well. But hey, big show. One more left for you, Arun, on the morning show. But we are back at 3 p.m. You know what, Arun? Why don't you close the show today? Do you mind doing that?
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, well then I'll do it. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, I want to thank. At least he's honest, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how to do it either, but I'm going to do it right now. So for Brendan, for Arun, and for myself, we are part of the Trader TV Live family, and we would like to thank you for watching. Catch us back at 3 p.m. Trade well till then. Ciao.